Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, August 17th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the MLB Little League Classic, sponsored by New York Life. First pitch is going to be here in just a couple minutes. Obviously, we were supposed to start at 4:10 Pacific, and we have another rain delay, which normally is not good for the Seattle Mariners, but tarp is off. The intros are completed. So let's get into the starting lineups, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some Sunday night baseball. Tridents up, go Mariners, and let's get this going. MLB Little League Classic, Seattle Mariners and the New York Mets. On the thumb, on the left, our center fielder, superstar Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, a gem offensively and defensively, shortstop Francisco Lindor. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, third baseman, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Batting sixth, DHing today for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, second baseman, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners, with an 8-5 record, an ERA of 3.71, it is George Kirby. And now let's get into the starting lineups for the home New York Mets. Leading off for the Mets at shortstop, Francisco Lindor. Batting second, playing right field, Juan Soto. Batting third, playing left field, Brendan Nimmo. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, the polar bear, Pete Alonso. Batting fifth, DHing for New York, Jeff McNeil. Batting sixth, catching today for New York, Francisco Alvarez. Batting seventh, playing second base, Brett Beatty. Batting eighth, playing third base, Mark Vientos. And batting ninth, center fielder, Cedric Mullins. And on the mound for the Mets with a 9-6 record, an ERA of 3.71, it is Clay Holmes. Tridents up, let's go M's. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the Dodo train. And obviously we'll be shooting for our sub count, which is normally around 5 to 15, but it has been 20 to 50 as of late. Tridents up, let's go M's. And obviously we have an 0-5 record with a rain delay, and we just experienced, back-to-back losses in Baltimore. So when the rain ended up dropping, about, an hour and a half ago, I thought, oh, hell, not this again. But again, it's different, based on the start time, in the middle or towards the end of the game, you would think. But with the Mariners, it really doesn't matter. But I have a feeling, just based on the vibes of the Little Leaguers, and, we lost yesterday, I feel that we are going to put out a good performance. We had 11 runs in game number 1, and we won 11-9 in a game that was very back and forth. And then obviously we ended up losing game 2, 3-1. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast yesterday, normally when we explode for a big game, typically we score 1 to 3 runs the next game. We did. And And today, again, there's really good vibes right now. Autographs for all the little leaguers, all the different games and events that they typically do here at this Little League Classic. So I feel like this might be the trend that we'll be able to buck, and we may be able to win our first game in a rain delay here. Vibes are incredibly high, and the routine for the players isn't really out of whack like it normally is when we're on the road somewhere. And again, if it was in New York and we had a rain delay, that might be one thing. But again, I like our chances of getting the dub here today. How are you, man? Let's get this dub. And again, it's not going to get any easier because as soon as this is over, we fly to Philadelphia and we have a 3-game set against the Phillies. So, knowing how good the Phillies are, we thought that Baltimore series was tough. This Mets series, pretty difficult. That Phillies series coming up is going to be just as hard as those last two, probably harder. And we're going to have to make sure that, the bats come alive, starting pitching is good, and we have to have a good bullpen. And again, to have a good bullpen performance, we're going to have the lead, or at least be tied in a majority of those matchups. Otherwise, when we're down, that's when we end up seeing, the Carlos Vargas, the Caleb Ferguson, the Jackson Kowar. And when you see guys like that, typically it's not going to end well for the Mariners. So we'll see what happens, here today. But obviously the last game on the slate, and I'm very excited here to do the Little League Classic. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Sunday. Tridents up. Let's get it, baby. We're going to get started with first pitch here in just a moment or two. Daniel in the building. What's good? All day in the building. Cody in the building. Mike in the building. Astro in the building. I think to get over 3.5 is definitely going to be doable. I would say Kirby 4 to 7 Ks. Now, if he starts wheeling and dealing early and he ends up having like 5 Ks within the first 2 to 3 innings, then he might be able to hit that, 8 to 12 number. But again, it's really hard to get strikeouts nowadays, and the Mets are a pretty good hitting team. So I don't, even though Kirby has been lights out relatively compared to some of the other starters the last 5 starts, I would say 4 to 7 Ks is where I would put him at. And I don't think he'll get less than that, but I'm not sure if he'll get more than 7. But obviously, if he ends up getting 5 within the first 2 to 3 innings, then he'll be pacing for 10 or 12. But we'll see if that ends up happening here today against the Mets. They got a lot of good talent, Lindor, Soto, and many, many others. So we'll see how it plays out, but hopefully it ends up being a high-scoring affair. I don't expect it to be 11-9, but I want it to be better than it was yesterday in a pitching duel 3-1. I want it to be somewhere in the middle. So I'm hoping it'll be like a 7-6 game where you'll get some pretty good pitching, and then maybe after the starters go out, the game opens up a little bit. But hopefully a 7-6 or 5-4 kind of final, 6-5, something of that nature, where we get some good punch outs, we get good defense, but also we get a few home runs from each team and a few big RBIs from each team as well to give us that interest of offense and defense. Let them know. MLB Little League Classic 2025, sponsored by New York Life, Seattle Mariners, and New York Mets. First pitch incoming here shortly. Clay Holmes on the mound, 9-6 record with an ERA of 3.71. And first pitch from Holmes to Randy Arozarena, and wouldn't you believe it, he gets that same type of face, hit by the pitch. And we haven't had a player get hit by the first pitch in quite a while. We'll take that. Hopefully Randy is okay, and he goes to first. Next up is big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. And Randy got hit in the head. So I'm not really sure what's going on with Clay Holmes. This is supposed to be the Little League Classic. It's one thing to get hit in the chest or in the elbow or in the legs, but to have someone throw at your head at the first pitch for the Little League Classic, hopefully that just slipped out of Holmes' hands. I don't think he's necessarily known as a dirty pitcher, but that was definitely alarming. And luckily, Randy did not get injured there with a concussion, a broken cheekbone, or something of that nature. But good reflexes by Randy, but it still ended up pretty much hitting him on the batting helmet. That could have been very, very bad. Thankfully, he's okay. Next up is big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. First pitch from Clay Holmes to big dumper, low and away, 1-0 count. And I don't think I've ever seen a first pitch get hit in the head in any MLB game in 2025, let alone in a game that's supposed to be for the kids, for the little leaguers. So, Randy, this might be a Randy Arozarena revenge type of game now against Clay Holmes. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Holmes to Raleigh. Reflect in the building. What's good, brother? 1-1 pitch, low and Apanese. 2 balls and 1 strike from Clay Holmes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And hopefully we'll be able to see Cal homer once or twice here today. Trident's up. But again, we still need some good singles and doubles. And again, it all depends on if we're going to get guys that are going to be, moonshot swings, or if guys are going to be swinging for singles and doubles and then taking that home run swing, when it's appropriate. And again, you've seen Julio make the adjustment. Cal's been pressing a little bit, as of late, but hopefully he'll be able to get into a good rhythm here tonight. 2-1 pitch, low and away. With that curveball by Holmes, 3 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 3-1 pitch, big swing and miss, low and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first. Randy Arozarena got plunked in the head on the first pitch of the game. And, again, I don't mind guys getting plunked, but when you go for the head, obviously we have to hope that it just slipped out of his hands and it wasn't intentional. But, it's a little shocking. Definitely, Randy is very focused at this point. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Holmes to big dumper. I mean, really, the only guy on our team that would hit somebody in the head, and it really wouldn't be on purpose, would be Carlos Vargas, just because he pitches high and inside and he's wild. But again, we haven't seen him hit, anybody in the last few starts. We'll see what happens today. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes big dumper, and that is 1 away. Hopefully Cal will be able to get something at his next at-bat. Nice punch out there by Clay Holmes after beating Randy in the head on the first pitch, trying to get some electricity for the Mets. 9-6 record, 3.71 ERA, same as George Kirby as far as the ERA is concerned. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. You've been absolutely phenomenal. And again, you've definitely picked up the slack, for Cal and a few of the others that are starting to get, into that rhythm again, but may not have hit it fully. And it was nice to be able to see Eugenio Suarez, good vibes only, hit that home run late. Hopefully that'll carry over to not only today's game, but also in the Phillies series. First pitch to Julio, takes a strike looking, high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside with the sinker, 94 miles an hour by Clay Holmes. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Top of the first inning, 0-0 with a runner at first with 1 out. Oh-2 pitch. In play, and Julio grounds out into the double play, throw to first, and safe. Nope, out. Man, brutal. And again, last time we seen, Julio, the same type of thing happen, but when we had bases loaded. So, anytime you have bases loaded and 1 out and you hit into a double play, or if you just hit into a double play at any given situation, it stinks. But again, hopefully we'll get some good production out of Cal and Julio moving forward. Great defense there by the Mets. With that double play, let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for New York. Leading off for the Mets, shortstop Francisco Lindor. And this is a guy that can do it defensively and offensively. A true gem to watch, regardless if you're a fan of Lindor or not. It's always going to be good TV when Lindor is on. Batting second, right fielder Juan Soto. And batting third, left fielder Brandon Nimmo. And on the mound for the Mariners, 8-5 record with an identical 3.71 ERA as Clay Holmes, George Kirby. And George started off 0-3 and obviously missed the first 50-plus games with shoulder inflammation during, obviously, spring training. So it took him, a little over a month before he started kind of feeling like his regular self. And in the last 5 starts, he's been kind of like the George Kirby that we remember prior to the injury. And hopefully we end up having a, George Kirby type of performance that we can be proud of here in the Little League Classic. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we only need a few subs to be able to hit 21,500. We need 17. So we need 17 subs. We're looking for 100 likes. And once we hit 100, we'll go for 125 or 150. And then we'll be shooting for 100 on the dono train. Appreciate everyone that supported Paisley's birthday. And it was a good one. And I really do acknowledge all of the individuals that helped out with that to make her birthday very memorable. Appreciate you guys. Bottom of the first inning, global broadcast on ESPN. Little League Classic here 2025, sponsored by New York Life. First pitch from George Kirby to Francisco Lindor. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 98 miles an hour with the sinker, 0-1 count. One pitch, fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Lindor. And, normally when we have a rain delay, we automatically lose. But the scenario with this one, being for the kids, the routine really wasn't, that changed up, compared to if it was like a morning game that was delayed a little bit later. So I think that this will be the first time that we buck the trend and we will win or at least be competitive in the rain delay. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Lindor. But every other rain delay, it kind of felt like, we lost. And we're 0-5 at rain delays. We can't win when a MLB pitcher has his debut. We're not good there. And we've lost every time that's happened in 2025, even though we've been able to beat a lot of the elite guys. Lindor on the 1-2 pitch and a beautiful single to right. And we can't win with Logan Evans on the road, but now Evans is on the IL, so we won't have to worry about bucking that trend. But, at some point we got to be able to win, with the rain delay, and I think today will be the day. Nice hit there by Lindor. I see you. Next up is right fielder Juan Soto. First pitch from George Kirby with a knuckle curve. Takes a strike looking right down the middle to Soto, 0-1 count. Yeah, she got pretty sick after the day before her birthday, and ended up taking her for a walk, and she was pretty sick. But on her birthday, she was okay at that point, got everything out of her system, and we had a great day together. Bottom of the first inning, runner at first, Lindor. 0-0 here early on a global broadcast for the Little League Classic, sponsored by ESPN and New York Life. And Lindor is picked off. There we go. Good defense there by the Mariners. And normally that's someone like Julio, that's kind of sleeping at first, or Randy. And it's kind of nice to be able to see someone that's not us, kind of be sleepwalking a little bit, in between first and second. And we love that. We'll take a keep out after, because, Lindor has been crushing it. 2 home runs in game 1, big RBI in game number 2, and then just got caught napping there at first, and we'll take that. Nice job. 1-1 pitch in play. And Soto grounds out to JP, throw to first, and that is 2 away. Great start here for the Mariners, and that'll make up for that double play by Julio. Next up is left fielder Brandon Nimmo. Let's go, George. Wheel and deal, baby. Great defense there by JP. And we gained 1 sub already. 16 to go to hit our goal to get to 21,500. And I think that we'll have a very good chance of hitting that number tonight. First pitch from Kirby to Nimmo. Low and at the ease with the slider. 88 miles an hour. 1-0 count. Kirby on the mound. Brandon Nimmo in the box. One-0 pitch, and Nimmo grounds out to the pitcher. Little toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. Nothing on the board just yet. But again, with a little bit of a delay, at least it was only, 35, 40 minutes rather than 4 hours. And that's why I feel that, that won't affect us as much as the previous rain delays have. All right, let's get on the board here early. What do you say? Let's go to the top of the second and see who's up next for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Mariners in the 4-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. Batting second, third baseman, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. I decided to take a risk and put him on the thumb yesterday because I thought he would play well in Homer. He did. I did not anticipate that being the only run that we would score in the game, but at least Gino getting slightly better. Still pretty inconsistent, but again, you're going to have to take the homers wherever they're going to be. It's not going to be a daily thing, and again, he's a streaky player, no doubt about that, but I do believe he will heat up sometime in September and October, but hopefully we get a few days here in August where he can heat up as well. And batting third, DHing in the 6-hole, Jorge Polanco. Trident's up. Let's go M's. We gained another sub. 2 subs already gained. Now we only need 15 to hit the goal. Let's go, baby. Now we're at 35 likes. Now we're at 37 with 115 in the room. Let's get to 50. Once we get to that halfway point, then we should be at 100, and we should have a good chance to hit 125 to 150 tonight. If the game is close late, maybe somewhere between 150 and 200. So if you are in the room and haven't hit that like button yet, please do. And for the people in the room that are mods, help out with that as well when you can. And so that way we can keep everybody honest and get those numbers up. First pitch, high and away to Josh Naylor, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off high and inside by Clay Holmes. 1 ball and 1 strike from Holmes to Naylor. 1 pitch, fouled off low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Top of the second inning, global broadcast here on ESPN, 2025 Little League Classic between the Mariners and the New York Mets. Clay Holmes on the mound, Josh Naylor in the box. Let's go, baby. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Holmes to Naylor. Let's go, Josh. Wheel and deal. Singles, doubles, stolen bags, home runs. We're going to need a good performance out of Naylor here today. And not only today, against the Phillies as well. That's going to be a very challenging series, and hopefully we can win 2 out of 3. We might only win 1 out of 3, but we definitely can't afford to get swept by Philadelphia. I think that, game 1, obviously tomorrow will really set the tone. If we can get that dub, good things will happen. 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Holmes to Josh Naylor. 2-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Holmes to Naylor. Curve and slider on back-to-back pitches to Naylor. So Holmes is definitely digging into his bag to try to be able to, switch it up a little bit. And again, you're going to see a lot of sliders out of Clay Holmes, but an occasional curve and a 4-seam fastball mixed in as well as change-ups, once in a blue moon. 2-2 pitch, and there's the change-up, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Clay Holmes to Josh Naylor. Keep working this count, baby. We don't want to have, too many one-pitch outs, for a pop-up or a ground out. We want to make sure that, we're able to get a couple walks, or hopefully we get plunked a couple times, but not in the head like Randy on the first pitch in the game, and we want to be able to move runners over. But again, we'll see how this game kind of plays out. Could be a kind of a pitcher's duel like yesterday, but we just got to hope that, starting pitching will have a meltdown or the bullpen. 2-2 pitch, and Naylor hits it deep, but flies out to right. It stays in play, and that is one away. Next up for the Mariners, who homered late in the matchup, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. First pitch to Gino, takes a strike looking, right down the middle, 0-1 count. And I've been keeping up with the Tacoma Rainiers, and Ben Williamson has been killing it. And again, it's nice to be able to see quite a few of the players there doing well, Victor Robles and Ben Williamson and a few others. So, I know that a lot of us, want Ben on the team, and, we don't really know how long Gino will be on this team. It might be only for this year, but it's nice to be able to see Ben getting the time to work on his skill set in the box. Obviously, we know he's an elite defender, and he does need to work on being better hitting, and he's getting the proper practice in AAA, and he's doing a great job. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Shout out from the Philippines. We appreciate you. 0-2 pitch in play, and look at this. Gino reached on an infield single to third. And again, when you homer late in a game, it carries over sometimes into the next game, especially when you've been kind of on a slump. And I'm not shocked whatsoever. Now, if Gino wouldn't have hit that home run yesterday, there's a good chance he starts the game maybe 0 for 3. So that is a really good sign for Gino. Hopefully he can continue to get hits in every single game, or at least, every other game, to kind of keep up his, offensive prowess, in a right direction, rather than just, getting a hit every 5th or 6th game with the Mariners. Nice job by Gino. Good vibes only. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Top of the second inning with a runner at first, Gino with 1 out. Polo in the box and Clay Holmes on the mound. First pitch. And Polo back all the way to the warning track. And that is 2 away. And I can't tell you how many times Polo has flied out, almost hitting a homer. Like, he is so close and so overdue for a homer. It's almost like making me sick. He's getting so close to having it at the wall, in the dirt at the warning track, or just in the grass before the dirt. And again, he's hitting the ball well, just needs a little bit more on that sweet spot. And hopefully we get Polo to get a big single, double, or home run today. Next up is Dominic Canzone. 1-0 pitch, and grounds out to second, throw to first, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning. Mariners and Mets still knotted up at 0 here at the 2025 MLB Little League Classic, sponsored by New York Life. Next up for the Mets, cleanup hitter, the polar bear, first baseman, Pete Alonso. Batting second, DHing in the 5-hole, Jeff McNeil. And batting third, catcher in the 6-hole, Francisco Alvarez. Trident's up, let's go M's. And the Astros lost today, thank God. Obviously, me and Cody and a few others have been keeping up on that, and I imagine a lot of you in the room as well. We're always kind of keeping our eyes on what's going on with the Houston Astros in the division. We're 3 likes away from 50, so we have at least 80 people in the room that haven't hit the like button yet. We get a few of you to do that, and then we'll be closer to our number to get to 100. We're at 47, 3 more to go to get to 50, and then the goal will be 100 and 100, and again, we'll see where we're at on the sub count. At that point, we need 15 to go to get to 21,500. We've gained 2 since I last checked, and I appreciate the new subs that we've acquired already. We're almost at 5 already, so now we're only needing 13 to go to get to 21,500. Let's go. Shout out to the 5 new subs that we've acquired already within the first half hour, and now we only have 13 to get to 21,500. Appreciate you. There we go. Great job all day. We got to get this win, and we got to get this series win, and then we just gained a couple more subs. Thank you so much. 3 more just within the last 30 seconds. Now we only need 10. Here we go. And we should be able to hit this goal. We've been doing, 5 to 15 on some streams, and then other streams it's like 15 to 50. So it kind of feels like a 15 to 50 sub count type of day. So 10 to go, and we'll hit that goal. Let's go. Shout out to all the new subs, and shout out to all the individuals that have been supporting the channel, whether it be for years or just in 2025. I appreciate every single one of you. All over the globe, too. Our global viewership has spiked in crazy numbers that I never would have imagined. First pitch from Kirby to Alonso. Big swing and a miss, low and away, 0-1 count. Alonso, the polar bear, in the box, and George Kirby on the mound. 0-1 pitch in play, and the polar bear with a nice single up the middle on Kirby. And let's see who's up next here for the Mets. Next up is DHing in the 5-hole, Jeff McNeil. So hopefully we get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout, and we can get out of this inning unscathed. Trident's up. Let's go M's. First pitch to McNeil. Takes a strike looking with that knuckle curve. 0-1 count. And I like seeing George do the knuckle curve early. Sometimes late in games, if it's really working, he'll pitch it, 3 times in a row to strike someone out. But normally it's only once or twice in an at-bat versus an individual. But again, it's one of those pitches where when it's on, it's almost unhittable. And hopefully we see a lot of the knuckle curve here today. As long as he doesn't give up any big home runs off of it, of course. And we gained 4 more subs within the last minute. And now we only need 6 to be able to hit our goal. Thank you guys so much. 0-1 pitch in play. And McNeil single to left. And now we got runners at first and second and no outs. Come on, George. 6 subs to go. We're at 21,494. Shout out to everybody in the room. I appreciate you. Next up is catcher Francisco Alvarez. First pitch from Kirby to Alvarez. Takes a strike looking. Right down the middle, 0-1 count. Now, if Randy would have dove for that ball and got it, then obviously that would have gotten us an out. But also, if he would have dove and missed, then we would be down 1-0 right now. So you have to kind of be calculated. And we know Randy sometimes is lazy in left field, but lately he has been actually making some pretty amazing plays. And there was just no chance from where he was at. He was kind of fading, a little bit too much, to that left side. So even if he would have dove, there would have been no chance. Just was a little bit in front of him there. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Alvarez. And we definitely need a double play at some point. Strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. When you got runners at first and second, second and third, or first and third with no outs, it's almost a recipe for disaster. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Francisco Alvarez. Come on, George. You've been great the last 5 starts. And again, we need our starting pitching to keep up. Megan with a tour. Appreciate you. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 2:98 to go. Now I got a chance to, take a little peek and, check out the offense, obviously with Kubiak. And, even though it's preseason, it definitely was eye-opening. And obviously, if they play like that or something similar to that, they should be able to, be right there with the Rams and leapfrog the Niners. The Niners have got a lot of injuries and not very much depth at wide receiver. So we'll see how the injuries are with that particular team. But, we'll find out very shortly. 1-2 pitch, and Alvarez doubles the center. Pete Alonso scores, and McNeil the third. 1-0 Mets. And again, we normally don't get into too many jams like that with 0 outs early, but again, this is going to be a tough one. Next up in the 7-hole, second baseman Brett Beatty. And Julio dove for that catch, but missed. And same kind of situation with Randy in the previous hit, but he didn't really dive or even have a chance at it. But at least Julio tried. It's all about effort. And that's why we appreciate Julio and Victor Robles, guys that are going to lay out and sacrifice their body to try to be able to, get the out for the team. First pitch from Kirby to Beatty, high and inside, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, fouled off with the knuckle curve. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Beatty. One pitch, fouled off. High and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Beatty. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 New York with runners at second and third. 1-0 New York. Sorry to hear that. Anytime you end up having an anniversary of someone that has passed, whether it be a mother, a father, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, or even a close friend, it definitely is, kind of a touchy, subject and whatnot. But hopefully you'll be able to try to manage your emotions the best way that you can. And we do appreciate you. Glad that you're here. Glad the Hawks are playing well. In the preseason. Tampa's 2-0. So we're playing very well, representing the NFC South. And again, if the offense is going to, there's going to be growing pains and there's going to be, some games where it's going to be tough. But, if we can get anything similar to what we've seen in preseason to translate to the regular season, I definitely think there's a chance that they could leapfrog the Niners and get into second place. And, who knows, maybe they can be a wild card team. I still think the Rams might be the, best team, in the division, top to bottom. But, Seattle should be able, if they can translate what they're doing in preseason to the regular, they should have a chance to leapfrog the Niners. And obviously we know the Cardinals are at the bottom, and maybe they can get second place, which would be huge based on all the roster moves they made in the previous year. No Geno, no DK, no Lockett. But again, watched quite a bit of it, and they look like they're on point. But it is preseason, so again, you're not getting everyone that normally would be playing in the regular, but still, it's good to see your team play well. 3-1 pitch, fouled off. Count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Beatty, and we can't let them score anymore. We got to keep this at 1, but with runners at second and third and no outs, realistically, it's probably going to be 2-0 or 3-0 before this inning ends. And just like that, up the middle, Beatty singles the center. McNeil scores. Alvarez to third. 2-0 New York. Come on, Mariners. Come on, George. Next up is third baseman Mark Vientos. Come on, Kirby. But on the flip side, it's better than, losing, 40-3, in preseason. Obviously, you could say, oh, it's just preseason, but still, you want to at least be able to see, some positive changes from the previous year into the new year. And, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. But again, it's, depending on what starters are playing and what the rookies and, obviously the guys that are trying to fight for a spot on the team. It's nice to be able to kind of evaluate the rookies and the newbies and kind of see how they gel with the new roster. And, again, we'll see how it all plays out. We're getting very close for college football and the NFL, which will be very, very exciting. And we'll be definitely doing a lot of coverage for those things here. First pitch from Kirby to Vientos, low and away with the sinker. Should have been called strike in the box, but is called ball. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes with runners at first and third and no outs. 2-0 New York lead. I think, for him, there's 2 sides of him, to the story. It's kind of like Hulk Hogan. It's like where you have someone that that's in the ring, and then you have someone outside of wrestling. And I think with Kubiak, it's the same kind of thing, where you have someone that's, going to be doing his job, and then the person outside of football. 2-0 pitch in play, and Vientos sac fly to center. Alvarez scores 3-0 New York. Golly. But I mean, as far as the football Kubiak, obviously what he is implementing is working. So hopefully that'll be something that'll translate into the regular season. But obviously I know there are some people that have some issues with maybe his character and stuff outside of football. But if we're talking about just football, he's done a great job, so far in the preseason, based on football duties. First pitch from Kirby to Mullins, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. Cedric Mullins in the box and George Kirby on the mound. And again, Kirby was really good within the last, 4 or 5 starts. So it's kind of shocking. I know we had a rain delay and we're 0 for 5 in rain delays, but I don't know if we anticipated Kirby giving up 3 fucking runs this early. And we definitely need the bats to come alive. 0-1 pitch, fouled off high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Mullins. (0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. 2 away. Now this inning is just going on and on, but at least we get Mullins out. Nice job by George finally getting out number 2. We need that electricity, George. I don't know what's going on here early, but again, 3 runs within the first 2 innings is unacceptable. And next up, one of their best players on the team, leadoff hitter, 1-for-1, Francisco Lindor. Homered twice in game number 1, had a big RBI in game number 2, and now we're down 3-0 with a runner at first and 2 outs, and he's in the box. Can't afford for him to homer here. If we get down 5-0, it might be game over already. It's tough. We are a team that can rally, but again, we're going to have to get to 1 really, really quick. We're going to have to try to stop the bleeding. The longer that we sit on 0, the longer this game is going to be. So hopefully we can get that first run in the next 2 innings to stop the bleeding, so to speak. And so that way we can kind of compete. But so far the Mets have been on point here today. And little dribbler up the middle, flip to JP, and that is out number 3. You can tell George Kirby is very frustrated here. And let's go to the top of the 3rd inning, down 3-0. Next up for the Mariners in the 8-hole, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second baseman in the 9-hole, Cole Young. And batting third, who got hit in the head on the first pitch of the game, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Right, it's up. Let's go M's. And if there's a particular photo that you would like, that you would want me to represent, whether that's the, one of the Seahawk players like Bobo, who's been doing pretty well, or if you want Kubiak, or something of that nature, let me know, and I got you. Trident's up. Let's go M's. We got to be able to get on the board, baby. Let's go. Gained another sub. We only need 5 more subs to be able to hit 21,500. Cut out through the 10 subs that we've already acquired. Only 5 more to hit that goal. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get 5 more subs to 21,500. We're at 2 on the dono train, 98 to go. And on the likes, we're shooting for 100 to 150. Let's go. Let's go, JP. We need you to get on base, baby. First pitch from Holmes to Crawford. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Holmes on the mound. JP in the box. AR in the building. What's good? 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Holmes to Crawford. Appreciate that, AR. Again, I plan on doing this for, the rest of my life. So it's like, I want to be able to get to, 25 and then 50 and, eventually 75. And my long-term goal is 100. And obviously to be able to get to a 50K or 100K number, that's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of time, but again, if we can end up having something happen positive, like the Mariners making it to the World Series, or best case scenario, they make the World Series and win, in the next few years. Hell, it could even be this year. That could be what propels this channel from where we're at now on where I want to go. So 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Holmes to JP Crawford. And, I've been doing this for 13 years. This is my 9th year on YouTube. Next year will be 14 years of streaming and 10 years on YouTube. So when I first started the channel, I gave myself a 10-year plan that I was hoping by 10 years in, I would be full-time. And I've already been full-time for the last 3-4 years. So a little ahead of schedule. But again, we still got a long ways to go. But I do appreciate every single one of y'all in the room. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Holmes to JP Crawford. Clay Holmes, 9-6 record with a 3.71 ERA. Got JP Crawford in the box. We need that ice water in that veins, baby. Let's go. JP fouled that off himself. Goes down onto his back. I hope he's okay. Nothing hurts more besides getting plunked by a pitcher when you foul one off your body. And trainers are coming out to take a look. Hopefully he's okay. 1-2 pitch. And JP with a single to right after fouling off the last one off his body. Nice job by JP. There we go. He is so tough. And again, to be able to go through the emotional roller coaster of being the leadoff hitter, and then Victor Robles coming in and taking that from him, and then having to go back to the leadoff spot when Robles got hurt, and then having to go to the 8-hole. It's been really the perfect spot for him. Nice job, JP, to bring that electricity early. Next up, speaking of electricity, a guy that's been getting better and better every game, second baseman in the 9-hole, Cole Young. And it's perfect to have these two guys right next to each other. They'll feed off each other, and JP can be a good role model for Cole. And I think he already has. First pitch from Holmes to Young. Takes a strike looking, high and away, 0-1 count. Kirby just not really hitting his spots, and the Mets hitters, are good. I mean, this is a team that more than likely will be in the playoffs, just like us. So, when you're not on with your pitching, and if the hitters are really good, sometimes that happens. Young grounds out to the fielder's choice, and that is 1 away. Next up is Randy Arozarena. And Randy got hit in the head in the first pitch of the game. Let's see if Randy can end up making something happen here. First pitch, low and away with the curveball, 82 miles an hour by Clay Holmes, 1-0 count. Much different than the first pitch of the game that hit him in the head. And luckily that batting helmet has that right protection. We don't want our guys to have any concussions or early stages of CTE, getting hit in the head by a baseball going 90 to 105. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off, low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Holmes to Arozarena. Lindor's leading off, and he's been their most productive player in the series. 2 home runs in game 1, big RBI yesterday, and he's already got a hit today, 1 for 2. So if you're looking for a guy that's not a for sure thing, but a guy that's super consistent, it's definitely him, even more than Soto, so far. And Soto's going to get you those big home runs. But as far as consistency, getting singles and doubles as well as home runs, Lindor and Soto make a good dynamic duo. Top of the 3rd inning, 3-0 New York with a runner at first and 1 out. We did have a 40-minute rain delay. Unfortunately, the Mariners are 0-5 with rain delays, and we just experienced 2 of them in back-to-back days just a couple days ago against the Orioles. So it's almost like cruel fate to have 3 rain delays within a fucking week, but I guess it is what it is. We got to battle through it. 2-2 pitch, fouled off low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. I got you. Top of the third inning, 3-0 New York. 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Two pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Randy, and that is 2 away. Come on, Randy, we're gonna need you, baby. Next up is the big dumper catcher, Cal Raleigh. And again, we'll take singles, we'll take doubles, but ultimately at the end of the day, we're looking for home runs, and hopefully we can get one here, maybe home run, 46 and 47. He's at 46. We're looking for 47 and 48. Let's go. Only a couple home runs away from the all-time MLB catcher total, which is 48 by Salvador Perez. First pitch from Holmes to big dumper. Fouls it off high and inside. 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. We need to get on the board. Someone's got to be able to get a home run to get it to 3-1 or 3-2. Obviously, with a runner at first, if he homers, it's 3-2, and that would put us in the great position. 0-1 pitch. Inside, four-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Holmes to big dumper. 1-1 pitch. Low and away with the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike from Holmes to big dumper. Two-one pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Clay Holmes to big dumper. Offense is going to, it really depends on who we're playing and who the pitchers are. We've had a pretty strong slate of pitchers lately going against the Mariners. It's not like we're going to be able to score, 5 to 15 runs every game. You're going to have peaks and you're going to have valleys, and it's going to be a lot more challenging on the road. 2-2 pitch, and big dumper flies out to left, and that is out number 3. Go to the bottom of the third inning, 3-0 New York. A little Nick, a little Sam, and a little Tori. Appreciate you. And 2 more subs. We only need 3 more to go to hit our sub goal. 3 subs to go to 21,500. Let's get it, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 3 more subs to hit the sub goal to 21,500. We're at 2 on the dono train, 98 to go, and we're at 72 on the likes with 28 to go to hit that goal. Let's go, baby. First pitch from George Kirby here in the bottom of the third to Juan Soto. Knuckle curve, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Juan Soto. 1-1 pitch, low and away with the splitter, 86 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Soto. Bottom of the third inning, 3-0 New York, and hopefully the bats will come alive. Again, we need to be able to get at least 1, within the next inning or 2 to kind of give us a chance that we feel like we can come back. And hopefully that will be the only 3 runs Kirby gives up while he's out there. And, again, if we end up bringing Carlos Vargas or Jackson Kowar or Casey Legomina, I mean, it could end up being 3-0 to 5-0 within a heartbeat. So the closer that we get to tying this game up or taking the lead, then we might have a better chance of having Brash or Bizzardo or Spire rather than just kind of giving up on this game and using those guys for the Phillies series. 3-1 pitch and good eye by Juan Soto, and that is a walk. No problem. Appreciate you. Soto to first with the walk. Next up is left fielder Brandon Nimmo. First pitch from George Kirby to Nimmo. Takes a strike looking with the knuckle curve. 0-1 count. Kirby on the mound, Nimmo in the box. And George, 8-5 record with a 3.71 ERA, but this performance is kind of more, like his first 3 where he wasn't very good. And you got to give the Mets credit. They are a good hitting team, even though they have been on a slump. Prior to yesterday, they lost 10 out of the last 11 after starting off the beginning of the year as one of the best teams in baseball. So we know that teams are going to go through peaks and valleys, and sometimes things just don't work out in the second half of the season. I mean, look at Rafael Devers joining the Giants. They got the worst record in MLB since signing him. So they thought it would be a good thing, but it actually has had the reverse effect. And it seems like the Giants are not going to make the playoffs now, based on how they've been trending lately. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Nimmo. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Nimmo on strikes. Nice job by George Kirby, and that is 1 away. There we go, George. Settle in, my guy. Next up for George Kirby, it's the polar bear, 1 for 1 with a run, first baseman Pete Alonso. First pitch from Kirby to Pete Alonso, takes a strike, look high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Pete Alonso. Come on, baby. We need George to be on point the rest of the way. I mean, it's already going to be hard enough to come back from 3 runs. But if we can get that big RBI or that big home run to cut into the lead, it'll give us a little bit more faith instead of trying to sprint in the last 3 innings, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and trying to make this miraculous comeback. Even though we have done it 5 to 10 times this year, we want to be as close as possible to 3 by the time we get to the 7th inning. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Kirby on the mound, Alonso in the box. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Pete Alonso. MLB Little League Classic 2025 between the Mariners and the Mets. 3-2 pitch, and that is a walk. And again, this is the sloppiest performance from Kirby that we've seen in over a month, which is definitely unfortunate, here because we only lost yesterday. And again, winning only 1 game, out of 3, isn't going to cut it against the Orioles and the Mets. And again, winning 1 out of 3, and potentially maybe only winning 1 out of 3 going against Philadelphia. That's not going to help our chances if we're going to try to get past the Astros, who got whooped today. But if they lose and we lose, we're not making up any ground. Next up is DHing in the 5-hole, Jeff McNeil, 1-for-1 with a run. Come on, George. Little leaguers trying to get Julio's bat on the broadcast. All these kids are going to be trying to get that memorabilia, but it better going to them than someone that would be trying to sell it. First pitch, and popped up, and McNeil flies out to right, and that is 2 away. Next up is catcher Francisco Alvarez. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 3-0 New York. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Kirby on the mound. Francisco Alvarez in the box. 1-for-1 with a run and an RBI. And definitely kind of got the party started for them. And hopefully we can get out with out number 3 here in the bottom of the 3rd. First pitch from Kirby to Alvarez. Grounds out into the fielder's choice. Toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. All right, end of the 3rd inning. We're down by 3. And again, we don't expect to, come back immediately and score 3 runs in 1 inning. I mean, it is possible that happens. But again, lately, it's been kind of hard for us on the road. And again, playing up to the competition or playing down to the competition. The Mets could be a playoff team, as we know. And Kirby just not having his stuff here today. But hopefully the bats can come alive to give us a chance. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0-for-1 in the cleanup spot, 4-hole hitter, first baseman Josh Naylor. And batting third in the 5-hole, third baseman who homered last night, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. And again, we need home runs. When the Mariners don't hit at least 1 home run, we lose like almost 100% of the time. We're not really built to get 8 hits with RBIs, in between and winning, 3-1 or, can we win that type of way? Yeah. Have we won that way before? Yeah. But, 50% of the runs this year have been home runs. So like when we hit at least 1 or 2 home runs, the ribbies will also come with that, either with the home run with someone on base or afterwards. But when we don't get any home runs, and if the pitching is a little suspect like it is today, I can only imagine what the bullpen is going to look like, especially if we don't bring in Brash, Pizzardo, Spire, which when you're down 3-0, more than likely it's not going to be them. It's going to be someone that's shitty or someone that's average. And when you bring in someone that's shitty or average from the pen, that 3-0 lead could explode to 6-0 in a matter of minutes. So hopefully we can get on the board so we have a good chance of actually having someone decent in the pen. Otherwise, they're going to wave the white flag too early, and I want to see a good comeback here today. End of the 3rd inning, 3-0 New York. Come on, Julio. We need you, baby. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez from Clay Holmes. Fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. Come on, J-Rod. We could really use a home run here today. Trident's up. Let's go. Just got to get on the board to stop bleeding out. 0-1 pitch, fouled off. And then takes a strike looking low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. No, sweeping the Phillies is impossible. Not going to happen. There's 0% chance. And even if we were playing the Phillies at home, you're not sweeping them. They are way too good this year. At this point, you got to shoot for 2 wins out of 3. And a nice hit ball by Julio. Go, go, go. Safe. And a beautiful double by Julio Rodriguez. But best case scenario would be, 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. But realistically, we're probably going to only win 1 unless we win game 1. If we win game 1, then we have a chance to get another dub in game 2 or game 3. But if we drop game 1 tomorrow, there's probably going to be only 1 win in that series, and winning 1 out of 3 against Baltimore, 1 out of 3 against New York if we don't come back, and then 1 out of 3 against the Phillies. That's not ideal for a road trip. It's terrible. I mean, it could be worse getting swept by those teams, but again, we're a World Series contender. We need to play better on the road. First pitch from Holmes to Naylor, fouls it off high and away, 0-1 count. Come on, Josh. We could really use a 2-run blast right here, or even an RBI double to make it 3-1 against the Mets. Come on, Josh. Bring that electricity, baby. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away with that slider. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Gain 2 more subs. We need 1 sub to be able to get to 21,500. Who will be that individual to get us to that number? And then we'll be able to go to our next goal, 21,600. Shout out to the 10 to 15 new subs that we've already acquired today. 1-1 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Holmes to Naylor. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes. 1 more sub to get to 21,500. And obviously, we're going to be looking for 100 on the dono train. We're at 298 to go. Top of the 4th inning, 3-0 New York. All right, take care. Have a great rest of your day. And I appreciate the support. Every dollar matters, and every dollar counts. And good luck with the upcoming season for the Hawks. Good preseason showing so far. Hopefully that'll translate to the regular season. Let's go, baby. 1-2 pitch. And Naylor strikes out looking, and that is 1 away. Down goes Josh. Might still be dealing with that illness that he had, in these previous few days. Next up is third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. Put him on the thumb yesterday, and he homered. Just didn't think that that would be the only run that we would get yesterday, and that was at the end of the game. So hopefully we'll be able to play a little bit better, but Kirby definitely putting us in a hole early, down 3. Gino already has a hit in his first at-bat, which is rare. Let's see if he can get another hit here. First pitch from Gino is low and away with the sinker, 94 miles an hour by Clay Holmes, 1-0 count. Holmes on the mound, Gino in the box. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Eugenio Suarez. And there we go. We just hit the goal, 21,501. Thank you so much. Now we're on to our next goal, 99 subs to go to get to 21,600, and we're on pace to get 20 to 50 subs on this stream alone. Shout out to all of the 16 new subs that we've acquired so far, and hopefully we'll get a few more here tonight. Appreciate you guys. Any person that ends up donating, commenting, sharing, subbing, it all adds up. Thank you so much. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Appreciate that. Again, when you have dreams and goals, if it was easy, everyone would do it. I mean, it's definitely something that you have to have that long-term, vision, but you want to have short-term goals, whether that be for that particular stream or, what's coming up in the next week or so. But again, we got some of the best fans on the planet. And again, I'm going to give my all on every single stream to be able to get this to the point where, that long-term goal will be achieved. And again, not very many channels will be able to get to that 50K, 100K goal. But I do feel confident in my abilities, and obviously with my long-term commitment, hopefully we'll be able to get there at some point. 2-2 pitch, and Gino grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and that is 2 away. Next up, in the 6th hole, Jorge Polanco. First pitch from Clay Holmes, takes a strike looking low and away with the changeup, 88 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Come on, Polo. Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Clay Holmes to Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. I mean, he's been so close on hitting a home run in the last 5 to 10 games. So many hard hit balls into the outfield, close to the wall, but just coming up short. Hopefully this will be the day that he goes yard. But at this point, with a runner at third, we'll take an RBI single. All we need is just to get to 1, and we can feel good about ourselves. And there it is. Nice 1-2 pitch. And Polo with a single to center. Julio scores. You ask and you shall receive. Bang! Now we're at 3-1. Sometimes you got to talk it into existence. And there it is. Let's go. Nice job by Polo. Big RBI to get the bleeding to stop. Next up is Dominic Canzone, another individual that is due for a Dom bomb. I don't know if he'll get it here at this particular at-bat, but it would be sweet. It would tie the game up and give us that momentum back. First pitch from Holmes to Dominic Canzone, fouls it off high and away with the curveball 0-1 count. If that would have hit the sweet spot, that would have been gone. 3-1 Mets, and great job by Polo with that RBI. Come on, Mariners. We're not out of it yet. Come on, Dom. But even at this point, getting a single or a double, just continuing the inning. And we're very good with 2 outs at any point in the game. And we're very good in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But we want to make sure we're getting as close to tying the game up or taking the lead, because we want to have our good bullpen guys out there. We don't want to have our shitty guys out there, because if that happens, then the game's probably fucking over, unless they have shitty guys in the pen also. But what are the chances of that happening? Probably not likely, especially when they're ahead. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Need that Dom bomb, baby. And I want Dom on this team. I don't want him to go to AAA, after Robles comes back. You could definitely alternate, at DH between Dom, Luke Raleigh, or Jorge Polanco, even though Polo's got a stranglehold on that spot. And here we go, Dominic Canzone with a beautiful single to right. And it wasn't a Dom bomb, but we'll take the Dom single. And there we go. Runners now at first and third with 2 outs. And again, it's all about getting that positive feedback. And then you just talk it into existence. Polo got the first one. Now you got Dom with 1. Now we need another RBI here by J.P. Crawford, another individual that is overdue for a home run. Ice water in his veins. If he gets a single, it's 3-2, and we're back in business. And we know Cole Young can get an RBI as well. So maybe this will be the start of a meltdown by Clay Holmes. We can only hope. Come on, JP. Get on base, baby. We believe in you. Let's go. There we go. First pitch from Holmes. JP takes a strike looking right down the middle. Damn, I wish he would have swung at that. That could have been big. 0-1 count, especially right down the middle. But again, I'll see if JP has that patience in the box, and hopefully he'll get that perfect pitch. And, RBI single would be great to make it 3-2. Best case scenario, he homers, 3-run blast. We go up 4-3, and we probably don't look back. But again, got to be able to just chip away, and that's what we're doing so far. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford, and that pitch was in the box. Don't know how the hell they called that a ball. Definitely should have been a strike for an 0-2 count, but that's for the first really, really bad call that the Mets have gotten so far. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Holmes to Crawford, and maybe that will be the pitch that kind of snowballs us to getting this game tied up sooner than later. Let's go. Come on, JP. And we normally don't bring out the Mariner Moose like this early, but I feel it's needed. We already lost yesterday. We're 0 for 5 in rain delays. Fuck all that. We need a comeback. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Top of the 4th. We're only down by 2 now. It's 3-1. We're feeling pretty good. Polo with an RBI. Dom with a hit. Now we just need JP with an RBI single to make it 3-2. If he gets an RBI double, it'll be 3-3. If he hits a home run, it'll be a 3-run blast. We're up 4-3. And then again, if he takes a walk, we have bases loaded. All of those scenarios will work out great for Cole Young, who's up next in the 9-hole, if we can get to that point with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. And hopefully JP will just take this walk. Kind of feels that this will be a ball by Holmes. But hopefully JP doesn't swing at it if it is low and away. 3-2 pitch, high and away, fouled off. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. Ice water in your veins. Bring that electricity. Get on base. You got that swagger. Let's go, baby. This is a pivotal point in the game. It's not like, the Mariners are going to have guys on base every inning, and we are going to leave some guys stranded. We are going to hit into some double plays and, fuck up once in a while. And there it is. I was right. 3-2 pitch. Good eye by JP, and there's a walk. Bases loaded. There we go. Sometimes you can kind of tell, based off tendencies of players, if they're going to be overly aggressive or if they're going to be smart. And JP is one of those guys, when it ends up being 3-2, he'll take the walk. He'll be smart about it, and luckily we get that version of JP here. Bases loaded now for Cole Young. And I don't think anyone would anticipate hitting him a grand salami from the 9-hole singles hitter. But again, Cole Young has been brilliant as of late within the last month. And if we get a walk here, we get a freebie from third. That might be what happens here if Cole is patient. First pitch, high and away, 1-0 count. I mean, I don't know if Holmes can pitch 3 strikes in a row. So again, if this goes to a 2-0 count, which it does, 2-0 count now, low and away, don't swing. You don't swing the rest of the, at bat, you're going to get a freebie from third to come home. We'll see how much discipline Cole Young has as a rookie. He does want to be the man, but he doesn't want to force the issue. And that's one thing I really respect out of Cole. Very humble, hardworking kid. And again, we got our second baseman for like the next 10 fucking years or longer. And off with a 2-0 count, most 2-0 counts lead to a walk, 80% of the time, if you're disciplined. 2-0 pitch, high and away, 3-0 count. Let's go. Let's go. Now, I mean, is it possible that he pitches 3 strikes in a row right here? Could he do that? He could, but the realistic chances of that happening, not very high. Maybe 2 strikes, but not 3. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young, and then usually this next pitch will be the pitch that will be a ball. So let's see if Cole has the discipline not to swing. Come on, Mariners. We'll take a freebie from third with a walk. Top of the 4th inning, bases loaded. And again, this game was not looking good early, down 3-0, but you always have to have faith for a meltdown. And that's why I never freak out or get too worried, when it's in the middle of the game. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. 3-1 pitch, in play. And Young pops up and out for out number 3. Brutal. Why did you swing, Cole? If you just wouldn't have swung at that at-bat, we could have gotten at least a run. Brutal. And we leave him stranded again. Maybe not as bad as, like a bases loaded hitting into a double play like Julio in the previous game, or, leaving a couple stranded on base earlier as well. But at least we got to 1. So, again, beggars can't be choosers, but at least we feel like we're starting to figure out Holmes. And at some point, we might be able to get him to exit in the 5th rather than the 6th. And that could be the difference from us coming back in the game. So we left him stranded, but, at least it's 3-1 now. And again, sometimes you're not able to get everything back in one inning. So, all right, let's see who's up next here in the MLB Little League Classic, sponsored by New York Life. Next up in the 7-hole, 1-for-1 with an RBI, second baseman Brett Beatty. Batting second, 0-for-0 with an RBI, third baseman Mark Vientos. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, center fielder Cedric Mullins. Tridents up, let's go M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we've already hit our sub goal of 15, and we're on our next goal of that. Where are we at on the likes right now? Looks like we're at 89. So we have at least 70 people in the room that haven't hit the like button. If we can get 11 out of the 70, we'll hit 100, and then we'll go to our next goal of 125. So if you are in the room and you're one of those 70, hit that like button so we can get to 100. And we're still at 2 on the dono train, and hopefully we'll get some people to show some love on that end as well. Bottom of the 4th inning, 3-1 New York. First pitch from Kirby to Beatty. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Knuckle curve, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Beatty. Game's not over yet. We're down 2. Plenty of time to come back. 1-1 pitch in play, and Beatty grounds out to the shortstop, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mets in the 8-hole, 0-for-0 with an RBI, third baseman Mark Vientos. Bottom of the 4th inning, 3-1 New York. First pitch from Kirby to Vientos, takes a strike looking low and at the knees, 95 miles an hour with the sinker, 0-1 count. Let's go, George. We can't have him give up any more. 3 is the max for every pitcher. So regardless if you're an all-star or if you're the 5th guy in the rotation. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Vientos. Gained another sub, 98 to go to 21,600. Shout out to all of the 15 to 20 subs that we've already acquired in the stream alone. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Vientos. 1-1 pitch, and Vientos singles to left. Nice hard hit ball there by Mark. Next up, the former Baltimore Oriole in the 9-hole, center fielder 0-for-1 with a K, Cedric Mullins. First pitch from Kirby to Mullins, knuckle curve, low and away, 85 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Kirby on the mound, Mullins in the box. I appreciate that very, very much. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cedric Mullins. Stacks, racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Thanks for giving great coverage. One of the ways I like to listen to the game while going for a run. Let's go, M's. Appreciate you. And again, I feel that most people don't realize how hard it is to be good at your job. And again, a lot of preparation and a lot of film study, a lot of reading. It's not easy. It's much easier to do football and other sports compared to baseball. But I'm fully dedicated to the craft. And again, we do everything here: baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling, NASCAR. It's one of the only channels on YouTube that does sports and wrestling as a whole. And again, not easy for most people, as most of you all would know. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Mullins. And Bash, if there's anything that you want to do photo-wise, anyone that donates to the channel, whether it's $1 or our highest amount for a solo dono, $1,300, regardless if it's $1 or $1,300 or somewhere in between, you let me know who your favorite player is, and I can find a HD 4K photo and throw that up for you. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cedric Mullins. 2-2 pitch, and takes strike 3 looking, and that is 2 away. There we go. Kirby's starting to get a little bit more comfortable on the mound after kind of a shaky start, but that's kind of been the MO for the Mariners starting pitching lately. It's like the starting pitching was injured at the beginning of the year with Gilbert, Kirby, and Miller is just about to come back. And again, we've had to have like Castillo and Wu and Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock try to keep us afloat. But again, most teams, if they had 3 of their starting 5 injured, at some point in the year, they wouldn't be a playoff team, let alone a World Series contender. But we're getting guys healthy at the right time. First pitch to Lindor, and he singles to right, Vientos to second. And Lindor is an animal. He has been the most consistent player in this series for New York. Absolute stud. Next up is Juan Soto. We can't afford a 3-run blast or an RBI by Soto. Come on, George. Little League Classic, 3-1 Mets. Runners at first and second with 2 outs, with the dangerous Juan Soto in the box. First pitch from Kirby to Soto, low and away with the splitter, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Yeah, and not even just against the Mariners. Lindor overall is just kind of a stud. Like if that guy was on your team, you would be living life. Like if we had him instead of JP Crawford, could you imagine? Like I love me some JP, but Lindor is like on a whole nother level. A guy that can, hit more consistent home runs, than most shortstops. And he's a great defender. And he can get singles and doubles on the regular. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Kirby to Soto. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Slider missing, 89 miles an hour, you would think, but he got that line. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Soto. Bottom of the 4th, 3-1 Mets. Mariners with a little bit of momentum after being down 3-0 for the first few innings, but a nice RBI by Jorge Polanco, who's overdue for a home run, which we could say for about half of the roster. And hopefully we'll end up getting that big home run in the next few innings. And if we get it, that could give us the momentum to, retake the lead. I would disagree with that, Cody. I mean, if you look at their record at the beginning of the year, they started off like 45-24. They were like one of the best teams in baseball, but then they'd hit a wall in the second half of the season. Obviously losing 10 out of the last 11 before winning yesterday, but they're still above 500. They're still more than likely going to make the playoffs, you would think. And if they don't, they're barely going to miss it. So I wouldn't say that this is a team like Baltimore, which is absolutely not making the playoffs. This team is much better than that. Now, the Phillies are much better than New York, but again, we'll see how it all plays out. 3-1 pitch, and good eye there inside. Could have been called a strike or a ball, and that is a 5-pitch walk. Now we got bases loaded with 2 outs, and this is really a turning point in the game here. for Brandon Nimmo. We need to get out of this. We give up an RBI or a home run, it might be good night and game over. So we got to make sure we get out here with a pop-up ground out or a punch out on Nimmo. But I love me some JPAR. I love the guys that we have on the team, camaraderie and whatnot. And there's certain guys are just, more naturally talented than others, but JP definitely for a lower name, guy that most people don't know who he is unless you're a Mariner fan overall. Most of the time we're pretty pleased with JP. So. And obviously off the field, one of the coolest guys on the team. Like that is someone that you can actually hang out with outside of baseball, and have a meal with, have a beer with. Like seems like a very, humble, well-rounded guy. All right, we got a mound visit with Cal and George Kirby. And on Cal's chest protector, he's got mini baseball cards of all of the teammates from when they were in Little League. How cool is that? You don't see stuff like that from every team, and very, very cool. That was on socials early this morning through Facebook, Twitter /X, and Instagram, which I always make sure I update that and give the Mariners my support. Also, Mariners PR is very, very good for new information. That's on X as well. So first pitch to Nimmo, and perfect call by Cal Raleigh. Nimmo lines out to the shortstop, boom, and that is out number 3. And hey, we're not the only team with bases loaded stranded. The Mets just had it happen to them. And again, it feels like that it's that type of game, where we're going to get hits, but it really is going to come up to the defense. And again, if Cal didn't take the time to have that mound visit, almost guaranteed that would have been a home run or an RBI. And luckily it wasn't. Great job by Cal as like that second coach, to be like, let's just pause here for a second. Let's get this perfect pitch to get him to pop up. JP is there. We leave bases loaded stranded, and now we actually have a chance. Here we go. And that's why you can't freak out too much when you, as a Mariner fan, we hit into the bases loaded, or we leave guys stranded at second and third, or first and third, or we have bases loaded and no outs and we score nothing. It's going to happen to them too. It's not just a Mariner thing over and over and over. You just have to have the faith. End of the 4th inning, 3-1, New York. And now we need to try to score 1 run within the next 2 innings. Just crawl before you walk, right? And we just, beggars can't be choosers. And then if we end up getting more than 1 in the next 2 innings, maybe we can get a meltdown, obviously here. And if we get the meltdown in this inning, then he'll get pulled early, and then we'll have a better chance moving forward. So shoot for 1. And if we end up getting 2 and tying it, that would be great. And we got the lineup to do it. Could we get the home run that we need in this inning? It's possible. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena, who started the game getting hit in the head on the first pitch. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K. We really need this, baby. Big dumper. We're looking for home run, number 47 and 48, ASAP, baby. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, another guy that can get singles, doubles, triples, or home runs, who's been an absolute stud, who's got the most home runs in the American League since July 11th, who's been hot, hot, hot. And again, not very good at the beginning of the year, but he's always a 300-plus hitter after the All-Star break. If he can ever figure it out within the first couple months, instead of being a 20-20 player, he'll be a 30-30 or 40-40, and maybe even one day in his prime, maybe he'll be 50-50. And, again, he's a long ways from that number now. But again, if he can just figure out how to play good, in March, April, May, June, July, and instead of having like maybe one good month, in that first 3 or 4 months, and then being awesome the rest of the way after the break, it could be really the difference on how far the Mariners go. And also for his personal accolades and his staff. First pitch from Holmes to Randy, takes a strike swinging, low and away. 0-1 count. And I would like to see us fucking bunt. Have you guys noticed we haven't goddamn bunted, it seems like, in ages? We were in the beginning of the year. We need to drop bunts down, And again, you drop it down towards third base, chances are, they're not going to be able to handle it. Find ways to get on base. We need stolen bags. We need to swipe bases. We need to be able to get runners in scoring position. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Holmes to Arozarena. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Holmes to Randy. And Clay is very good, 9-6 record with a 3.71 ERA. So it's not like very many teams dominate him, but we have to just try to slow him down here. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Come on, Mariner Moose. We believe. Top of the 5th inning, 3-1 New York. They started off hot. Mariners got a little bit of momentum now. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Take the walk. If it's there, Randy, take the fucking walk. 3-2 pitch, and of course he swings and misses, and that is 1 away. Come on, Randy. See, these are the little types of things that you need to monitor, when guys are being overly aggressive. And, sometimes, I don't know if it's just ego and whatnot, but, there's nothing wrong with taking a walk. It's a lot better than fucking striking out, let me tell you. Next up is Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh, 0 for 2 with a K. We could really use a fucking solo dinger right here. Come on, Cal. Or a single or double by Cal, and then Julio gets the home run. Let's go. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. I mean, there's no teams in baseball that are practicing, defense for bunting in the league. No one does it. Everyone's in the cage, trying to get their rhythm. Obviously the, guys are in the pen warming up their arms, but you're never seeing, preparation for bunts because you barely see them. And that's why when you execute it perfectly, that it typically leads to a single and you're safe. 1-1 pitch. Back, and flied out to center, and that is 2 away. All right, Julio, we need a single, double, triple, or home run. Come on. You get this game to 3-2 with a solo dinger. That could be the momentum that we need to come back in this game. Let's go, Julio. Or it might start a rally with 2 outs, which we know we can do as well. Bunting is an art. It's one of those things you have to have good hand placement. And some guys, put their hands in the wrong spot and they end up breaking their fucking wrist. So it's like, there is an art to it. But again, you can definitely tell the people that are better at it than others. First pitch from Holmes to Julio, high and inside, which if that was at the beginning of the year, he would have swung at that. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, and Julio lines out to the shortstop, and that is out number 3. Unfortunately, we don't get anything there, but we're only down 2, not 3, so I feel pretty good at this point. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th and see who's up next here for the Mets. Next up, 1 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, first baseman Pete Alonso. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, DHing Jeff McNeil. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI, catcher Francisco Alvarez. Tridents up, let's go M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 98 more subs to get to 21,600. We hit 15 subs plus already to get to 21,500. So thank you so much for that. We got 2 on the dono train, 98 to go for that goal. And then where are we at on the likes? We should be approaching 100 here very shortly. And what are we at? We're at 99. So we have 54 people in the building that haven't hit the like button. If we get one person out of the 54, we're at 100. And I assume we'll be able to get a couple of those. And then we can shoot for our next goal of 125. Who will be the person that gets us to 100 likes? We're right on the cusp. And there it is. We got the 100. Thank you so much. Next goal will be 125. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-1 New York. And it's kind of crazy how, just getting a run, gives you more confidence, and especially when we're getting guys on base. I mean, yeah, we're leaving some guys stranded, but it's much better than in previous years where we're one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, where we would strike out 10 to 15 times and think about having like one guy out of 9 that would normally be able to hit. So you have to be thankful that this is probably the best 1 through 9 that we've had in the batting order since 2001. So yeah, are we going to be disappointed at times? Yeah. Are guys going to fuck up? Yeah. But we're going to have a better chance this year than any year since 2001. So you just kind of have to ride the wave. There's going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and it's all about being cool as a cucumber. Can't get too excited when you do something really great, and you can't get too depressed or negative when things are not going our way. You just got to be cool as a cucumber, keeping it right down the middle, and just knowing, in a matter of time, good things are going to happen. First pitch from Kirby to Alonso, high and away, big swing and a miss by the polar bear, 0-1 count. And then once the starters go out, then the game resets. But obviously, the closer that we can get to 3, we'll have a better chance to have better bullpen guys enter. So that way they don't just kind of throw the white flag and give up. And they, if they throw in Carlos Vargas, well, we already know how that's going to go, more likely than not. So sometimes he's good, but 95% of the time he's not. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Alonso. Yep. And even if we don't win the division, we're definitely making the wild card. We're in. We're World Series contenders. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And that is 1 away. Next up, DHing is Jeff McNeil. But the thing that could really propel us on beating the Astros in the division is Bryce Miller and Victor Robles. So, they're very close, So hopefully when we get those guys back, it'll give us that spark that we need, especially, with Robles. Bryce wasn't very good even when he was playing hurt. But Robles could be the big game changer in the lineup. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to McNeil. And we already know how great of a defensive player Robles is as well. Always hustles, always has a smile on his face, and it always feels like when Robles plays, Randy and Julio play better. It's like having that no-fly zone intact. It's like, if you ended up having, only 1 guy out of 3 playing or 2, it's not the same thing. Just like with the Seahawks and the Legion of Boom. You need everyone to be in there to get the best effort. So 1-1 pitch, knuckle curve, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to McNeil. Let's go, baby. 2-1 pitch, low and away. Tries to paint that corner and misses it by inches. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jeff McNeil. Kirby on the mound, McNeil in the box. Yeah, and I want Canzone to still be on the team. You could rotate between him and Polo at DH at the very least. But he's good enough to be on the roster. Does not deserve to go down to AAA, in my opinion. He's earned the spot. Another guy that deserves to be on the team is Miles Mastroboni. And when are they going to fucking let Dylan Moore go? Send him to AAA, cut him. I don't know. I don't understand why he's still on the team, but we have too many good players for him to still be on the team. 3-1 pitch, and in play, and McNeil with a single right up the middle. I mean, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if Dylan Moore, Carlos Vargas were not on the team anymore. And upgrading Harry Ford for Mitch Garver would be huge too. But, the only way that's going to happen is if Garver gets hurt. Next up is Francisco Alvarez. First pitch, takes a strike looking low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off. High and inside, no balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out, bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Mets. And even though we're down 2, it feels like the Mariners have the momentum. It's just about, continuing the rally. All right, let's go. Next goal, 125. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside, no balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Alvarez. What's crazy too, and obviously a lot of people, they may or may not know, but I'm European and Japanese on my mom's side, and I'm Czech and European on my dad's side. But they actually, have a bunting contest, which is like a home run derby, but only for bunting in Japan. And again, they always are about the mechanics and obviously just doing the intangibles. That's the reason why Ichiro and certain guys are so good. It's all about those just basic mechanics. And again, they could learn a lot, from a lot of those guys in Japan. And obviously, they've been able to learn from Shohei and Ichiro in the recent years. 1-2 pitch, and Alvarez singles to center. McNeil to second. Runners now at first and second with one out. Next up is second baseman Brett Beatty. But I actually watched a Anthony Bourdain No Reservations episode when he went to Osaka, and that's kind of the homeland. And obviously, with the Tigers there, being very, very big in Japan, and kind of the culture of Japanese baseball, they love it out there. And obviously, it's nice to be able to see kind of some of the transition and the mechanics, being relayed over here to some of the U.S. players as well. First pitch from Kirby to Beatty, low and away, 1-0 count. Bottom of the fifth inning, runners at first and second with one out. We could really use a double play. Hit it to JP, slow dribbler, throw to first. After it goes to second to get that double play. Hopefully we can get that, or end up getting a punch out and a strikeout, but we'll see how it goes, either looking or swinging. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Beatty. Gained another sub, 97 to go to 21,600. 1-1 pitch, knuckle curve, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Beatty. That's one thing that the Japanese fans have that a lot of the American fans don't, is the passion. The cheering and the chanting. It's almost like watching, like a high-end soccer match, here in the States or like in the World Cup. It's like that type of vibe throughout the whole game. Each player has a chant that everyone knows, and the whole stadium sings it throughout, that whole period. You can only imagine if we had something like that in the United States. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. 3-1 New York here in the bottom of the fifth. But, for me, I always like sports that have passion, with the fan base, regardless if it's baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR, WWE, AEW. When I see something that has passionate fans, I'm there, and that's what I'm looking for. The people that have the passion that make it exciting. Bottom of the fifth, 3-1 New York. Kirby on the mound, Beatty in the box. Well, considering I am half Japanese, I'm going to keep up with everything. Hell, I even keep up with single A, double A, triple A, and high A ball. So, if it really comes down to sports, we're not average here. We are Fanatics. 3-2 pitch, and Beatty flies out to left, and that is 2 away. Next up, 1-for-1 with an RBI, third baseman Mark Vientos. It's not like I watch Japanese baseball games on the regular. I already have so many other things that I have to do research and film study for. But, I'm always going to keep up with the Mariners, every team in MLB, our farm system, single A, high A, double A, triple A. And then if they have any prospects in Japan that maybe the Mariners are looking at or associated with, I might dip a little bit and, take a little peek here and there. I'm just trying to, watch highlights or read some articles. But, you want to keep up on what's going on in the world. First pitch from Kirby to Vientos, takes a strike looking, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees with that slider by Kirby. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs. 3-1 New York League here in the Little League Classic in 2025. Gained another sub. Over 20 subs in the stream alone. Appreciate you guys. And we had a goal of 16, 17 subs to be able to get to 21,500. And then now we've already surpassed that, and we're on our next goal. 1-1 pitch. Popped up. And Vientos back. See ya. And that is a big homer. And just like that, when we thought we could keep up, Kirby gives up the big blast. And now instead of being down 3-1, 6-1. Brutal. Oh my. Kirby, why? And this is the worst performance out of George in quite a long time, in over a month. And Vientos crushed the fuck out of that baseball, and that was his reaction. Unbelievable. Can't win a game when your starting pitcher gives up fucking 6. And again, if we're going to come back, now we really need to get to 3, like as soon as possible. You know, we're going to need a home run like ASAP. Otherwise, it's going to get out of hand. I mean, it already is out of hand. First pitch from Kirby to Mullins. High and away, 1-0 count. Well, considering Kirby has been lights out for the last 5 starts, you know, it's more Kirby, you know, than the Mets. But again, Mets are a pretty good hitting team. But remember, they lost 10 out of the last 11 before winning yesterday. And this is the 8-hole hitter. Not really a guy that hits 3-run blasts that often. So next up on the 1-0 count, and Mullins with a double. So again, you know, there are going to be games where some of these batters are good, but to me, you know, watching location, speed, velocity, swagger, aura, this is more George Kirby fucking up rather than the Mets just being awesome. Now, they're a good team, you know, but again, in this particular game, it's really Kirby not hitting his spots because, again, some of these guys, they're having good games. You know, you would expect Lindor to have a good game, Soto, maybe Pete Alonso, but as far as the rest, it's kind of hit or miss with those guys. And if they're, you know, hitting home runs and getting big RBIs, that typically would mean that Kirby is not, you know, playing well. And he started off 0 for 3, you know, with the shoulder inflammation. Remember, he missed the first 50-plus games, and it took him a month to get, you know, kind of right. And in the last 4 or 5 starts, he's pretty good. But today, one of the worst starts of the year. So, I mean, you could say it's a little bit of both. You know, the Mets, you know, playing well and hitting well, and Kirby fucking up. But Kirby doesn't give up 6 runs, you know. I mean, when's the last time Kirby gave up 6? It's been a while. Well, Jason, you don't really know baseball. You're not going to throw in Castillo or Wu. They're starters. You don't bring in a starter after a starter plays shitty. You go with the bullpen, my guy. You might need to do some research. You never bring in a starting pitcher after a starting pitcher. That's not how it works. First pitch from Kirby to Lindor. Pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Lindor. Bottom of the 5th, 6-1 New York with a runner at second and 2 outs. And we got to get out of this inning, obviously, with just 6. And then hopefully we can get a 2-run blast to make it 6-3 by at least the 7th inning. And if that happens, there'll be a small chance that we come back. You know, no guarantees, but at least it would give us a chance rather than just being down by 5 and then, you know, extending it to 6, 7, 8, 9. So. Yeah, not you. There's more than one Jason in the room. Come on, my guy. Pay attention. You're not the only Jason in the room. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Francisco Lindor. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. 6-1 New York lead after a big blast by Vientos, 3-run bomb. And hopefully the bats will come alive at some point. But again, really what concerns me is not necessarily the bats not being able to do it. It's who are we bringing in? Because if we bring in like Vargas, the score will go from 6 to 10, you know, and then there's no chance. It's not like they're going to bring in Bizzardo, Brash, or Spire when we're down 5. So we're going to be bringing in, you know, some of the shitty guys, Legomina, Kowar, you know, that type. And again, when you bring in a shitty guy from the pen when you're already down 5, what are the chances that the lead stays at 5? Not very likely. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Paula in the building. What's good? Yeah. Well, again, no one follows baseball. There's nobody on YouTube, even that does this full time, whether it's a Yankee streamer or a Blue Jay streamer or a Dodger streamer. No one is going to be doing every single game like this. And if they are, they're definitely not reading and doing film study 2 or 3 hours a day on top of the streams. And again, I'm not only doing Mariners, I'm keeping up with the entire league. And not only that, the NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, NASCAR Cup Series, WWE, AEW. I mean, this is my life, and again, in play, and Julio drops it, and Lindor doubles to right, Mullen scores, and now it's 7-1 New York. When it rains, it pours. Brutal. Francisco Lindor showing how great of a player he is, and that should have been a play that Julio made, but again, once you start fucking up, other things start to typically trickle down. And again, Kirby fucked up this game, and you wouldn't expect Julio to make a mistake out there, but there it is. Next up is Juan Soto. But again, it's not like a lot of teams are very good on the road. Out of 30 teams in the MLB, there's only one that typically is 9, 10, 11 games above 500, and that's the best team in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers. So every other team, even the elite ones, usually only have a couple games above 500 or at 500 or below 500 on the road. So it's very difficult to be good on the road. And again, we are not showing our best ball. And I wonder if that's going to be it for Kirby. And it is. And I guess we're waving the white flag because they're bringing in Taylor Saucedo. And Sauce has got an ERA of 7.71. So now the game can go from 7 to 14 in a heartbeat. Now, we only need one out. So there is a possibility Sauce gets someone to pop up, and then we, get out of the inning. But again, not ideal, bringing in a guy like that who was on the team, and he was the worst, player on the team last year, with probably Bizzardo was right there with him, and Bizzardo is the most improved from last year, and Sauce has not really been on the roster until recently, and a little bit earlier in the year as well. But hold your breath, because when you end up having a shitty player like a Vargas, like a Sauce, it's going to be too much sauce. And again, I want us to be able to come back, but holy hell, we're down by 6. We don't have any home runs. When we don't hit home runs, we don't win. Who would have known the Mets had lost 13 of 15 before playing us? Got to keep up. And Julio is not a guy that makes mistakes in the outfield. I mean, very rare, It's one thing if you're diving to catch a ball and showing effort, but that was something that it was just, just a lack of focus. And here we go. First pitch from Sauce to Soto, grounds out to first, and typical, Sauce fashion, either popping up or grounding out, or gives up a big home run. So we're happy that home run didn't happen. And a little flip to first. Good hustle by Sauce to tap the bag. And now we're finally out of the inning. But again, George Kirby fucked us today. There's no doubt about that. But again, it's not like our hitters are really doing anything either. We're fucking at one. And again, that's what happens sometimes with this Mariner team. When you end up exploding, for 11 runs in game number 1, the game after is typically 1 to 3 runs. And then obviously, if you lose that game, you have to hope that someone gets a home run within the first 3 to 4 innings. So that way that you have a chance if the other team plays well. And obviously being down 3-0 early, we got it to 3-1. But then Vientos with a 3-run blast, and then another error by Julio. And just like that, 7-1. Not ideal. Well, it is on Julio, because regardless if he doesn't know the park, that was a routine play. That wasn't something that, he had to make a crazy play to get the out. He could have made that play. He was right there next to the ball. He dropped it. I mean, these guys are professionals, okay? Top of the 6th, 7-1, New York. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman Josh Naylor. And I assume that he's still dealing with the cold and flu, because he still hasn't been very good since he's come back from that illness that he had a couple days ago. Next up, third baseman Eugenio Suarez, who homered yesterday, good vibes only. Got a single in his first at-bat, but we're going to need a home run in this game as well. Come on, Gino, good vibes only. And batting third, a guy that is so overdue for a home run, it's killing me, DHing Jorge Polanco. 7-1 New York. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let's make a rally. Gained a few more subs now. 4 more. 25 subs in this stream alone. We're at 92 to go to 21,600. We're trying to get to 125 on the likes to 150. And we're sitting at 7 on the dono train, 93 to go. And hopefully we'll get something there as well. First pitch, high and away to Josh Naylor from Raleigh, 1-0 count. Even got the Mariner Moose prowling into the crowd. If anything, we need him to rally the team. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to Josh Naylor. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Two-one pitch, and Naylor grounds out to the shortstop, and that is 1 away. Next up, in the 5-hole, third baseman Eugenio Suarez. First pitch from Brooks Raleigh to Eugenio Suarez. Takes a strike looking high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch fouled off by Eugenio Suarez. No balls and 2 strikes to Gino. 0-2 pitch, low and away by Brooks Raleigh. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Come on, Gino. We know you can do it defensively, but we need that bat to come alive. I mean, even if it's a solo dinger, once we get that 1 home run, that typically will lead to another, home run. Sometimes even 2 more after the first. But we need that first home run. 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Brooks Raleigh on the mound. Gino in the box. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Gino. And that is 2 away. Next up, DHing in the 6th hole. A guy that is so overdue for a home run. It's killing me. Jorge Polanco. Could this be the at-bat that we get the solo dinger? I mean, obviously being down 7-1, you don't got a whole lot of faith, for a number of reasons, right? Besides just being down 6. But getting it to 7-2 is a hell of a lot better than 7-1. And again, once you get that first home run, it usually leads to a couple more. First pitch from Raleigh to Polo. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And unfortunately, teams are starting to realize that we don't have a very good right-handed lineup. So when we have switch hitters that typically are better left, like Polo and Cal, and then they bring in a lefty late in the game in the pen, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing against us, because they know against left-handed pitching, we're not very good. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. And it's not to say that Polo and Cal can't hit homers from the right side. They can, but just not as often. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. 6th base with a 5er. Appreciate you. Your boy's working hard every single day. Stacks, racks, with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Every dollar counts, and that'll definitely help out with the internet, the streaming fee, just the basics to keep this dream going. Thank you so much. And anybody that donates to the channel, remember, you're not donating to a streamer, you're donating to a dreamer. You're donating to dreams and goals, being achieved. So when you end up doing the ultimate compliment, donating, anything, $1 to whatever, you're donating into somebody's dream. And that's the biggest compliment that you can give any streamer on planet Earth. Facts. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Shout out to Six Face. Appreciate you. Now we're sitting at 12, 88 to go to hit the goal. 1-2 pitch, and look at that. Polo with a beautiful double to left, even batting right-handed. My boy. Nice job, Polo. And we're good with 2 outs, and we're good in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Now, we just have to, slowly but surely chip away. If we can get it to 7-2, 7-3 in the next 2 innings, it's not looking good right now. But, again, you got to have kind of a little blind faith. We have come back, quite a few times in 2025. Next up is Dominic Canzone, and I couldn't think of a better time for a Dom bomb right now to make it 7-3. If he hits a homer, we're back in it. Top of the 6th, runner at second. Jorge Polanco, 7-1 lead for the Mets with 2 outs here in the 2025 Little League Classic. But we had a rain delay, remember? So we're 0 for 5 in rain delays, about to be 0 and 6 unless we come back. Rain is not our friend. 1-0 pitch, high and away with the slider, 82 miles an hour by Raleigh. 2 balls and no strikes to Dominic Canzone. Can I get a Dom bomb, baby? Come on, Mirror Moose. We need to talk this shit into existence. I need a Dom bomb. 2-0 pitch. High and away. 3 balls and no strikes to Dominic Canzone. I mean, we'll take a walk here as well if we can get it. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Raleigh to Canzone. Yeah, but we're smart. We actually have a retractable roof and a dome. We're not stupid. It's like if you're going to have rain, 80% of the time where you live, you should have a roof. Whether it be rain, sleet, snow, hail, it's just mind-boggling. And there's the walk by Dom. Like the White Sox and the Orioles, there's so many, baseball stadiums that should, this isn't fucking football where you actually want to play in the rain and the snow. It doesn't work for baseball that way. Next up is JP Crawford. Could we get a 3-run blast by JP and getting us the score to 7-4? If that happens right here, we're really back in it. Let's go, baby. 2 out rallies. Come on, JP. Ice water in his veins. Let's go. 1 good swing to get this to 7-4. And, we can still obviously lose, but we want to be excited the rest of the way. But I'll take an RBI single, RBI double. 7-1 to 7-2 to 7-3, and then best case scenario, a 3-run blast to 7-4. Sometimes even when it's dire and it's bleak and it looks terrible, you got to be positive, and sometimes you can talk it into existence. Come on, JP. They got a mound visit right now, trying to figure out what the best pitch is to JP Crawford. Let's go. Top of the 6th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. First pitch to JP, and lines out to third. Was hoping that he was going to, work the count a little bit and get to like the 5th pitch and maybe get a ribby or a homer, but swings at the first pitch like Julio at the beginning of the year, and then we leave him stranded again. Brutal. And I get it, people want to get ahead of the count and try to get that, strike right down the middle and hit a home run or a ribby, but you got to realize that pitchers know that now, that they can throw garbage, and more than likely certain guys are going to swing. That's pretty brutal there. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning, down by 6. See who's up next and see who comes in for the Mariners. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K. Left fielder Brandon Nimmo. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, base on ball and a K. The polar bear, first baseman Pete Alonso. And batting third, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, DHing Jeff McNeil. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah. Sometimes you got to look at the, even the little things like the Astros losing. Exactly. All right, we're at 120 likes, 30 more to get to 150. And it looks like we've made up a lot of the ground that we were at. We got at least 16 people in the room that haven't hit the like button. We get 5 out of those 16. We'll be at 125. Once we hit 125 on the likes, we'll go to 150. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. And I don't know if they're going to keep Sauce in since he only had really one pitch, but I don't think that would be really the answer. But it seems like they're going to stick with Sauce, obviously, since we're fucking down 6 runs. First pitch from Sauce to Nimmo. Low and away with a sweeper, 1-0 count. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's just about, having appreciation for the little things. Absolutely. Every day I get to spend with my pup. Every day that I get to go for a walk, with her 3 times a day, getting those 5 miles in every day, helping, have good mental health, even when our favorite teams are not doing what we want. It's just about doing those little things to be able to, win the day, so to speak. 1-1 pitch, low and away, 2 balls and 1 strike to Brandon Nimmo. Two 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sauce to Nimmo. But you got the right mindset, my guy. And again, it's not going to get any easier, too. The Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball, and we got a 3-game set on the road. So, if we play like this, we're only going to win 1 game out of 3 against them. But if we win game 1 tomorrow, we might be able to win 2 out of 3. 2-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss. Sauce with a strikeout, and that is 1 away. And that's kind of a weird thing to say, Sauce with a strikeout, because he definitely is not very good. Next up is the polar bear, Pete Alonso. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sauce to Alonso. Come on, Hams. Yeah, and again, we're not very good on the road, and I can kind of go over, like I've already mentioned, because I do so much research, on all of the analytics and statistics that are going on. But once I read off the stat, then it'll kind of make more sense, and it won't be maybe as bad for some people. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pete Alonso. But as far as like away records, the Blue Jays are one of the best teams in baseball, right? They're 73-52. What's their road record? 31-31. You wouldn't expect that, right? Detroit, 73-53, right? But what's their road record? 34-29, only 5 games up. Houston on the road, right? 69-55, 31-28 on the road, only 3 games up. We're 500. We're 31-31, unacceptable, right? Phillies are 34-32 on the road. Mets are 25-34 on the road, and they're 65-58, right? The only team that is amazing on the road, the Brewers, 36-25 on the road, 42-20 at home, 78 wins, 45 losses. Hell, even the Dodgers at 71-53 are only 30 wins and 29 losses on the road. So this isn't just a Mariner thing. This is a fucking league thing, unless you're the Brewers. It's hard to win on the road, no matter who you're playing. First pitch from Sauce to McNeil, takes a strike looking, low and away, 0-1 count. Appreciate that, Justin. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, 7-1 New York lead. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, 7-1 New York lead. Yeah, especially with the way that the world is right now and the economy, and it's so tough, for so many people right now, even for the basic things like food, rent, just the basic stuff, just to fucking live. There's not very many people that can even afford to live by themselves. Even if you got a good paying job, like a lot of people are living with family, they have 2, 3, 4, or 5 roommates. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that's regular now, and sometimes we got to find those little things that give us joy, like MLB and the Seattle Mariners. 1-2 pitch, and McNeil grounds out to first, and that is out number 3. So far, so good for Sauce. I figured that he would be terrible and give up a couple runs, and he hasn't. So, we're still down 6, which is terrible, but hopefully we can get it to 3, by the end of this inning. And if we can get it to 7-3, more than likely we're still going to lose, but at least it'll give us maybe some momentum going into the Philly series tomorrow. But I would like to see a home run or 2 in garbage time if we can get it. You can also root for, stats to go up for our favorite players like Cal hitting a home run or Julio or whoever. Next up, 0 for 2 in the 9-hole, Cole Young. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks after getting hit in the head in the first at-bat on the first pitch, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a K, is catcher Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Cal's at 46 home runs, which is second most all time out of any catcher in the last 150 years. And again, the record is 48. So you already know he's going to obliterate that, and he'll probably break his own record multiple times in his career. Like, this could actually be the modern day, Pudge Rodriguez, Johnny Bench type of player in that era. And that's pretty exciting to think that we might have the best catcher, in the league for many, many years to come. So. Top of the 7th inning in the MLB Little League Classic 2025, sponsored by New York Light and ESPN. Mariners are 0-5 in rain delay matchups. And obviously, of course, we just had 2 of them like a few days ago. Like, sometimes the baseball gods are cruel. Like, what are the fucking chances of us having 3 fucking rain delays in like a week, after we can't win a game? There's only a few things for the Mariners where we can't win. Normally, not on rain delays. We can't win when a pitcher has an MLB debut, which we're like 0 for 5 for whatever weird reason. We can beat Skubal and Skeens, but we can't beat someone when they make a fucking debut like yesterday. And we can't win with Logan Evans on the road, but luckily he's on the IL. So those are like 3 things that we need to work on, and hopefully we'll be able to eliminate some of those negative things and make them a positive down the road. Again, I do so much research, through the analytics and the metrics, and it's not just black and white for baseball. There's a gray area as well. Got to go deep with those stats and the analytics. First pitch from Garrett to Cole Young, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 1 pitch, fouls it off right down the middle with that slider by Garrett. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. It's a Cole world, baby. Let's get a single, Cole. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. And again, to be a Pacific Northwest fan, if you live in Oregon or Washington, or you're a fan of any team in Oregon or Washington, you're built different. Because it's not like we're good every single year. Hell, the Mariners have only had 4 good years out of 40. How many people could actually be a fan of a team and, buy the gear, root them on, go to the games? And for a 20-year period, we knew we had no chance of making the playoffs, and still watched every single game, beginning to end. And again, it feels like we're definitely turning the corner, but you can also tell who's been a fan for a long time and who's maybe a recent fan in the last few years. You have to be built different. You have to be mentally strong to be a fan of any team in the Pacific Northwest. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Garrett to Young. 3-2 pitch. And Young grounds out to first. Toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Next up, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And I feel like you don't really get a lot of these things on other streams or even like on FS1, ESPN, or MLB Network. MLB Network will give you the closest thing to this, because we're going to talk about similar things about stats and analytics, not just, who's, hot right now and who's cold. You have to go a little bit deeper than that. So, I want to make sure that we're giving information and we're making people smarter, more well-rounded, not as biased, appreciating greatness, and actually making, baseball fun. Which is not an easy thing to do if you're an outsider. Again, baseball, NASCAR, NBA, NHL, those are kind of niche markets. Football is the easiest thing to watch and root for, across the board. And again, you have to have a connection to some of those other sports: baseball, hockey, basketball, NASCAR, wrestling. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. And Randy hasn't been the same since he got hit in the head on that first pitch of the game. Didn't get a chance to homer against his former team, and I feel that if he would have, that would have propelled him to, play better against the Orioles, and obviously here today. But top of the 7th inning, 7-1 New York. And if we don't have a miracle here late, we're going to go 0-6 this year in rain delays. I hope to God we don't have any more this year. 2-2 pitch, and Arozarena, nice, single to right. There we go. Nice job, Randy. You got to take your little wins, even when shit's going bad, right? Nice job by Randy. I'm always going to, be that positive force, even when if maybe everyone else gives up and loses a little bit of hope. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal, you're at home run number 46. Can we get home run number 47 right here? We do that. We're at 7-3. And then you just got to pray for a meltdown by the Mets bullpen. If they bring in Edwin Diaz, then we probably are fucked. First pitch from Garrett to Raleigh. Takes a strike swinging, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. And there it is. Back. See ya. I told you, man. I got the ESP. You got to talk it into existence. 7-1, now 7-3. And again, we just mentioned it 5 seconds before. He's at 46. Now he's at 47. I am a time traveler. Believe what I say. 7-3. We're only down 4. Tridents up. Let's go M's. And I can't tell you how many times, that I'll end up having moments like that. Usually a couple times a game, where I'll have that good ESP. But there we go. And again, you can root for individual stats. And then again, you got to, be on the sports god side. And again, I can't tell you how many times I've had a dream or I kind of felt something and then I just say it out loud. And then it just happens like, a couple plays later, or even a few seconds later. And there it is. Big blast by Cal Raleigh. And I love it. Tridents up. Let's go M's. Beautiful. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. My boy, that's that big dumper, baby. Let's go. Everybody loses faith. I will never lose faith. I'm realistic, but again, I can kind of have feelings on when I think big things are about to happen. 0-2 pitch, low and away with a splitter by Garrett. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. And if we can have a couple more meltdowns, you never know. Crazier shit has happened. Now we only need 1 more home run by Cal to tie Salvador Perez from the most homers ever by a catcher in 150 years in MLB's history. And, there's a pretty good chance Cal is going to break that record, many, many times. He'll probably end up hitting, 48, 49 or more pretty often. There's going to be times maybe he'll be in the 40s, but, if there was any catcher that could get 50 to 60 home runs and be on the Judge Ohtani level, the only guy that could do it is Cal as a catcher. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And any of the regulars will let you know it's not a thing that happens once a month. I mean, we usually do the ESP, daily. Stacks, racks, bang, bang. Let's go. Let's go. Now we need a Julio. But again, with a 3-2 count, I don't know if you're going to get back-to-back homers. It doesn't feel like it. You have a better chance of Julio taking a walk, or getting out. But hopefully he can get like a single or double here. But, best case scenario, getting a home run after giving up a home run. But 3-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Julio. And that is 2 away. Next up is first baseman Josh Naylor. First pitch from Garrett to Naylor, fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. You can definitely tell the people that know baseball and the people that have no idea what the hell's going on. Because if you're doing betting and parlays and you don't understand how baseball works, Kirby hasn't been in the game for a long, long time, my guy. He's already left the game. You're unfortunately not going to win your bet. I mean, this is not for fair weather fans or bandwagon fans. We're fanatics here. First pitch down the middle, the Naylor fouls it off. 0-1 count. But this guy right here, AR, he got it, baby. 0-1 pitch in play, popped out, and that is out number 3. And again, it's all about, just talking shit into existence. And we were already talking about getting the score to 7-3, even before, Cal ended up hitting that home run. And sometimes you just have to have, that positive vibe. And the sports gods love us here. And again, we're still down 4. And realistically, 99% chance we're going to lose, but again, we want to be able to get that first home run, and that typically will lead to another. And this will give us a better chance to maybe win tomorrow when we fly to Philadelphia for a 3-game set against the Phillies. And again, it gives us one step closer of Cal tying history. And then after he ties it, breaking history and making a name for himself and solidifying himself, hopefully, as the AL MVP. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Love you, Cal. Next up for the Mets. 2 for 3 with 2 runs and an RBI, catcher Francisco Alvarez. Batting second, 1 for 3 with an RBI, second baseman Brett Beatty. And batting third, 2 for 2 with a run and 4 RBIs, third baseman Mark Vientos. Bottom of the 7th, 7-3, New York. But I take a lot of pride on giving as much information that you can get on every single play, on every single batter. A lot of broadcasts on TV or on YouTube, they kind of give you the bare minimum. And they're definitely not doing photos on their streams whatsoever. So it's like, to be able to give you guys the ultimate experience, for someone that is not with, ESPN, Fox Sports, or MLB Network, I'm going to give you guys my all. Bottom of the 7th, 7-3, New York. Gained 21 subs on the stream alone. 24 actually now. 92 to go. Be able to get to 21,600. We needed 16 to get to 21,500, and then we've gotten 8 after that. So great job so far. 24 subs on this stream alone. Sauce is still in the game. Wow, they're just using Sauce over and over and over again. And when's the last time you've seen a pitcher go 3 innings for the Mariners? Especially one that's not good, but he's playing pretty good right now. First pitch from Sauce to Alvarez, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, takes a strike looking at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sauce to Alvarez. One pitch, and Alvarez with a double to right. Thank God that wasn't a homer. Shit. Nice double by Francisco Alvarez. Next up is a second baseman in the 7-hole, Brett Beatty. Bottom of the 7th, 7-3, Met. Yeah, Cal's going to break so many records by the time this season is over. Tag at second is safe, but they're going to replay that probably. Hitting most home runs as a switch hitter, multi-homer games, hitting the most home runs as a catcher. There's going to be a lot of numbers. And again, Cal is so good. I mean, he's only been in the league a few years like Julio since 2022. There's going to be so many records that he's going to break. And, to think that we've had guys like Yogi Berra, right? Johnny Bench, Buster Posey, Mike Piazza, Pudge Rodriguez, and we have our very own in Cal Raleigh, but he's got a chance to be like the best catcher of all time, especially if he ends up staying on the Mariners for 15 to 20 years and doesn't have a major injury. He might go down as like best catcher ever, and we're a long ways from that. But again, to be able to, break these records, and, I would assume that he'll be hitting more than 50 home runs more than a few times before his career is up. And again, if we want to be able to make a World Series and win one, we're going to need a good version of Cal and Julio, as well as all the other guys to get there. For every Michael Jordan, you need a Scottie Pippen. That's big facts. And also, Cal does so much more than just hitting bombs. Being a switch hitter, right? Being a good leader, making sure that, he keeps everyone in a positive attitude. Starters and bullpen as like another coach, like a second manager on the team. He can throw guys out from the knees at first, second, and third. He's a good defensive catcher. But there's just so many things. There's really not a lot of weaknesses in his game. And even before he started using the torpedo bat, he was getting 29 to 34 home runs as the best power hitting catcher. But since the Mariners weren't good, no one was giving him any credit. And then obviously having the big year this year, but people have been sleeping on him. Even last year, they didn't even vote him as one of the top 10 catchers. So just because the Mariners weren't a good team, but now everyone knows the Mariners are good and Big Dumper is the man. First pitch from Sauce to Beatty, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, right down the middle from Sauce to Beatty, no balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 7th. 0-2 pitch, and that's strike 3 looking. What am I watching? Sauce actually pitching well and pitching in 3 innings consecutively? What the hell is going on here? Sauce is actually giving us a chance to try to come back. I mean, again, we're down 4, but we hit our first 2-run blast. Now we're going to need another one, or a 3-run blast grand salami. I know I'm asking a lot, but again, I'm trying to talk shit into existence here. I mean, we want to try to come back and win this game 8-7. Can you imagine? Next up is Mark Vientos, and this is the guy that kind of killed it for us. George Kirby was asked today, unfortunately. And if he doesn't hit that 3-run bomb and the score, is 4-3 right now, I imagine a lot of people would be picking the Mariners to win this game, or at least be able to keep it really interesting late. First pitch to Vientos, grounds out to the shortstop, and that is 2 away. We could have had that result when Kirby was on the mound. And again, Kirby was good in the last 5 fucking starts. And then all of a sudden he has to pitch like shit like he did at the beginning of the year, off his rehab stint when he was terrible at the first 3 starts. This is exactly how he looked at the beginning of the year after he missed the first 50 games. The Mets have good players, but again, I feel it was more George Kirby than really the Mets, and again, the Mets are a good team, but again, he wasn't hitting his locations and pretty wild today. And then anytime he had a moment to get a strike 3, what happened? The Mets have been crushing RBIs and home runs, even by guys that you wouldn't expect. You expect Lindor to do it. You expect Soto to do it. You expect Alonso to do it. But anyone else, you don't expect that. Next up, the former Baltimore Oriole, Cedric Mullins. 1 for 3 with a run and 2 Ks. Bottom of the 7th with a runner at 3rd and 2 outs. We cannot let them score an RBI or a home run here. Absolutely not. Shout out to Cal Raleigh. 1 home run away from tying greatness. 2 from being the number 1 guy, which you're going to get. And Cal is definitely due for a multi-homer game pretty soon as well. We might be able to get a home run derby show off between Schwarber and Cal in Philadelphia. Can't wait for that. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cedric Mullins. 1-2 pitch, fouls it off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cedric Mullins. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cedric Mullins. Come on, Sauce. 2-2 pitch, in play, deeply hit, but flied out to right. And look at that. Sauce pitching 3 innings, right, and not giving up a run. I can't tell you how many times that Sauce has been on our team in the last few years where he would give up, home runs and ribbies immediately. And again, I'm not a fan of him. He does have Pacific Northwest ties. He's from this general area in Oregon and Washington, but that might have been the best performance that we've seen out of Sauce in years. And it gives us a chance to be able to come back. Now, we are going to need another home run, and it's got to be a 2-run, 3-run, or a grand salami. Get the mustard and rye bread, baby. And again, I wouldn't expect a grand salami, but I kind of, I don't know if it's ESP, but it kind of feels like we could get another 2-run blast. I don't know who until I feel it, but hopefully we get a 2-run blast here shortly. We're in the top of the 8th. I mean, we're running out of time. We got to get 2 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. I mean, unless we're lucky enough for a fucking meltdown and we get all 4 runs here in the 8th, which could happen, but we have to see who's up. I want a fucking meltdown. Mariners already have plenty of those in our fucking bullpen. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a K. Good vibes only. He did homer late last night. I put him on the thumb. He did homer. Could we get a solo dinger out of Gino or possibly a single out of Gino? And then this guy right here that's been so close on hitting a home run, could Polo be the guy that gives us a 2-run blast? Polo is 2 for 3 with an RBI and has hit deep balls in every fucking game in like the last 10 games, but just hasn't homered. He's so fucking close. Could this be the moment? And then batting third, 1 for 2 with a base on ball. Could we get a Dom bomb by Dominic Canzone? So at this point, we'll take a single by Gino or double, a home run by Polo to get us to 7-5, and then if everything goes, smoothly at that point, hell, we'll take another Dom bomb right after that, making it 7-6. Hell, if that ends up happening, we definitely have the momentum. But that's a big F. I mean, unless we end up having like a miracle where we get a home run here, a home run here, and a home run here, but the chances of 3 guys homering in a row is like 1 in a billion. So don't think that would likely happen. Instead of Satchel Paige, Sancho Page. We'll take it. Just wish Kirby would have pitched better. We would have been maybe sitting at 4-3 right now, or 3-3. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. All right, Gino. I know that you've been struggling as of late. You had a homer yesterday. You got a hit in your first at-bat. Good vibes only. We know you got good defense, okay? But I need you to get on base with a single, double, or a home run. Please, Gino. Let's start the rally right here. and then maybe we can end up getting Polo to go for a 2-run blast. But we're going to need a 2-run blast this inning, minimum. 2 runs we need in this inning, minimum, however we get them. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. And it doesn't feel like this is going to be a home run by Gino. Best case scenario, probably a single. Maybe a double if we're really lucky, but just get a single, Gino. Single, single, single. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. One-two pitch, fouled off low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Helsley to Gino. Come on, Gino. We gained a few more subs. 27 subs gained in this stream alone. 3 more in just the last few minutes. Appreciate you. 1-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Come on, Gino. Find a way. Single, double, triple, home run. Find a way. 2-2 pitch. Or 1-2 pitch, excuse me. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Start the rally, Gino. Two-two pitch. And that is strike 3 looking on the corner. 1 away. Tough. Next up is DH Jorge Polanco. We'll take a solo dinger here. I mean, at this point, since Gino wasn't able to get the single, we need a homer by Polo and a homer by Dom. Polo, and then a Dom bomb. I know it's a big ask, and then you got J.P. Crawford up after that. Ice water in his veins. Come on, baby. First pitch from Helsley to Polo, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. Griffey wants it. Let's go. Mariner Moose wants it. Sports Gods, you listening? I need a Polo dinger. He's due. He's been so close in like the last fucking 10 games. Give me the solo dinger, Sports Gods. We get a pitch right down the middle. It could happen. Top of the 8th. We're down 7-3. We need to get it to 7-5 if possible. Especially with only 2 more innings to go. I mean, the chance of the Mariners losing, obviously, is like 99%. I get it. But you're going to have a little blind faith. Hope for a meltdown or 2. But again, if they bring in Edwin Diaz in the 9th, good night. More than likely. Not often that he has a meltdown. But it's like Mooney. Mooney will have a meltdown for us once in a while, right? 1-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 looking. Fuck, man. 2 away. All right, we're running out of time now. Now we need a single, double, or a home run out of Dom. And then we got to hope that JP and Cole can continue the inning. Come on, Dom. Find a way. Either a home run by Dom or a single by Dom and then a homer by JP or Cole, which is a big ask, but again, sometimes you got to talk shit into existence or at least hope. Top of the 8th, nobody on, 2 outs. We dug ourselves in a big hole with George Kirby today, unfortunately. Down by 4. Cal Raleigh, obviously with a 2-run blast, get to home run number 47, which is fantastic. 1 away from the record for catchers, which is 48 by Salvador Perez, Kansas City Royal. First pitch from Helsley to Canzone, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees, 2 balls and no strikes from Helsley to Canzone. Come on, Dom. Two-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes to Dominic Canzone. This should turn into a walk, and then hopefully JP Cole Young can go crazy. Come on, baby. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. As long as Dom doesn't chase, this should turn into a walk. And Dom has the patience to not swing. Let's just hope that he doesn't. I mean, unless it's right down the middle, then we might be able to get a single or double out of it, or even a home run. He's due for a Dom bomb, baby. And there we go. 3-1 pitch, and that's a walk, baby. There we go. I love it. All right, keep the rally going. Nice job, Dom. All right, next up is JP Crawford. And if we can get a 2-run blast by JP or a single, and then maybe a RBI by Cole Young, we'll be in business. Come on, JP. And it's obviously not often that you're going to get home runs out of JP Crawford or Cole Young, but it does happen from time to time. Like Garver and Solano, it kind of just comes out of nowhere. And if we could ever need a home run, fuck, it's right now. We got a 2-run blast by Cal. Can we get a 2-run blast by JP? First pitch, fouled off right down the middle. If that was on the sweet spot, that's gone. Just a little bit behind that pitch. 0-1 count. Top of the 8th, runner at first with 2 outs. We're down by 4, and we need a 2-run blast ASAP. Come on, sports gods. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. You got that swagger. You got that aura. Let's go. Ice water in your veins. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away, which should have been called ball, but called strike. And the umping actually has been pretty good. There's only been a couple missed calls outside of the box for each team. A relatively pretty good umping, which is something that we normally never say when we watch a baseball game. And thankfully, Angel Hernandez is retired, but you can definitely feel his presence with some of these other umps still today. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Work that count, baby. Ice water in the veins. Give me that home run, baby. Give me that electricity, JP. And if you're not going to give me the home run, get a single, and then we can go to Cole Young with runners at first and second for an RBI opportunity. Come on, JP. Top of the 8th, down by 4. 7-3 New York lead in the Little League Classic. Runner at first with 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Helsley on the mound, JP Crawford in the box. Let's go. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. Come on, JP. Come on, baby. Aaron or Moose. Cal did it. Let's see if we can get it from you too. Ice water in the veins. Come on, JP. Single, double, triple, home run. A walk. Just something to keep the inning going here with 2 outs. I need a fucking meltdown. Come on, JP. Kind of feels like more like maybe a single out of JP or double rather than home run based off this 2-2 count and his body language. But again, if he ends up hitting a home run, man, that would be great. Come on, JP. He's going to be on his 7th pitch here. Grind this at-bat out, JP Crawford. 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Two-two pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. He's grinding. Come on, baby. Yeah, Bryce Miller making the comeback shortly. Should start maybe even in a couple days, they just mentioned. In play, and JP grounds out to first. Toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. Tough. see who's up next here in the bottom of the 8th. The New York Mets. Next up, the MVP of the series. Today, 3 for 4, 2 home runs in game 1, a big RBI yesterday in game 2, 3 for 4 with an RBI today, an absolute stud, Francisco Lindor. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 walks, base on balls, right fielder Juan Soto. And batting third, 0 for 4 with 2 Ks, left fielder Brandon Nimmo. So it's like if you can get Lindor out, right, you start here, then you should be able to hopefully get Soto and Nimmo. But if Lindor gets on, then Soto might get on, and then you got to start them right here. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And obviously the chance of getting 4 runs, and we don't even know if we're going to give up another, at this point. I mean, the chance of us coming back now is like 0.001%. I get it, but, at least we got the 3. But I would love to be able to get at least one more cheap home run late, to get to 4 or 5. That'll help us with momentum when we go against the Phillies. Unless we have an epic meltdown by their closer in the 9th and we score 4 or 5 runs. But, what are the chances of that happening? Probably not very likely. And now Sauce is out, and they're bringing in Jackson Kowar, who hasn't really been pitching very well lately. But a good sign to be able to have Bryce Miller coming back in that Phillies series. And it's the first time all year we're going to have all 5 starters in the rotation. So, and hopefully he doesn't shit the bed in his first start, obviously back, here in the MLB ranks. But, sometimes it takes a few starts to kind of get, your rhythm and your confidence and swagger back. Dominating in AAA is one thing, but when you go to MLB, it's a whole nother story. Bottom of the 8th, 7-3, New York. And we'll be live tomorrow at 3:45 Pacific on MLB Network, since it's in Philadelphia. And then we have Logan Gilbert versus Ranger Suarez, which would be a battle. 3-4 versus 8-6. And again, Cal Raleigh versus Kyle Schwarber. Sign me up. First pitch from Kowar to Lindor. Takes a strike looking, high and away, 0-1 count. Kowar on the mound. Francisco Lindor in the box. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Francisco Lindor. 7-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. Yeah, you're not going to see Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura ever again. But again, Nolan Ryan might be an alien. I don't think I've ever seen someone be that dominant. Got the most no-hitters, most one-hitters, 2-hitters, 3-hitters, 4-hitters, 5-hitters, and pitched from 1968 to 1993. Started off with the Mets, then the California Angels, right? Then the Houston Astros, and then the Texas Rangers. Your boy knows history. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Francisco Lindor. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees, and that is 1 away. Impressive strikeout there by Kowar. Down goes Lindor, 1 away. And hopefully we get Soto and Nimmo out, and then we'll have to pray for a miracle. But at this point, I mean, even if we don't come back, I would like us to try to get to at least 4 or 5 before the game is up. But again, we might not have the right lineup to do that. We'll see. First pitch from Kowar to Soto. Slider, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. But it's a lot better than losing 7-0. But again, we're approaching 0-6 with a rain delay, and we've had 3 rain delays in like a week. Make it make sense, sports gods. That's cruel. I wouldn't wish that on my biggest enemy. I wouldn't even wish that on the Astros. I mean, it's bullshit. I mean, it's like we were already, 0-4, in rain delays, and then we get 3 in like the last week. Make it make sense, my guy. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kowar to Soto. Two-one pitch, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Juan Soto. And we're at 132. Can we get to 140 before the stream ends? We need 8 more to be able to get to that number. We're at 132 on the likes. 3-1 pitch, and that is a walk. And we're sitting at 5, 10, 15, 17 on the don't know train. 73 to go. And we've ended up, let's see where we're at on the sub count. 28 subs on this stream alone. Next up is Brandon Nimmo. First pitch, high and away with the four-seam fastball, 1-0 count. Kowar on the mound, Nimmo in the box. But it shows you like how important starting pitching and bullpen pitching really is. You lose more games out of your starter and your bullpen than you do the lack of hitting. Lack of hitting obviously is rough, but again, giving up a lot of hits and a lot of ribbies and a lot of home runs, whether it's the starter in the pen or both, regardless if you're on fire in the box, sometimes that's still not enough. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 balls and 1 strike to Brandon Nimmo. My pup is in here now. She says, "Dad, I miss ya." Almost done, Paisley. And we'll go for a walk. I was hoping to go on a victory walk, but down 7-3, it's looking pretty bleak. But at least we got the Cal home run, so at least we got something positive, for at least a personal stat line for Cal Raleigh. And obviously, it's much better to lose 7-3 rather than 7-0. But I'm hoping we can get at least 1 or 2 more before this game is up. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the runner at first. And Soto with the stolen bag, swiping that bag. And Nimmo with a single up the middle and Soto to third. Brutal. That's what happens when you bring in guys that you don't really trust. Next up is the Polar Bear first baseman Pete Alonso. 7-3 Mets with runners at first and third. And if we're not careful, it's going to be 10-3 in a moment. Let them know all day. 11 likes to 150. We're at 17. 73 to go on the dono goal. And then we've hit almost 30 subs on the stream alone. Everything matters. Every like, every sub, every view, every share, every dono, it all adds up. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Pete Alonso. Got to get Pete out. Kowar on the mound. The Polar Bear, Pete Alonso in the box. And also having Josh Naylor still being under the weather hasn't helped us out either. Hasn't really been himself the last couple games. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And a nice punch out by Jackson Kowar. Down goes Pete Alonso on 3 pitches, 2 away. Next up is DHing in the 5-hole, Jeff McNeil with runners at first and third and 2 outs. And obviously being down by 4, you don't want to be down by 5, 6, or 7. And it's pretty much over at this point, you would think, but you never know. Meltdowns can happen. And this is kind of the maximum amount of runs that you can be down by and still make a comeback. We've been down 5 and 4 late and come back, but it's going to take a miracle. McNeil grounds out to first, pro tap on the bag, and we leave 2 stranded at first and third. Good job by Jackson Kowar. All right, let's see if we actually have a lineup that can go on a little bit of a rally, and it looks like we do. All right, first batter would be in the 9-hole. It is Cole Young. 0 for 3. Let's make it 1 for 4. What do you say, Cole? Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run and 2 Ks, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, who has a chance to be able to tie the all-time record with home run number 2 tonight, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go. I mean, even if we end up losing, if we can get to like 7-5 and he ends up hitting a multi-homer game, that gets him closer to Mickey Mantle, for most multi-homer games, obviously, in a season. And, getting that number up a little bit higher and obviously getting closer to Salvador Perez. Let's see if we can end up getting another blast by Cal. And now Rogers is coming in for Helsley. Let's go. Tridents up, baby. And I definitely like the Tridents up more than the See Us Rise gimmick that we had. The Trident is one of the coolest props in baseball. Everyone's got their thing. Some people will bring out the sombrero. Everyone's got different handshakes and everything. But as far as like props, we might have the best one in baseball. Top of the ninth, 7-3 Mets. And we have Cole Young, and hopefully we can get Cole to get on base to start a nice rally here. Cole gets a single. Realistically, Randy will probably get out. And then Cal Raleigh with a 2-1 blast to make it 7-5. And then obviously you have Julio up after that. I mean, it would be great if Randy homered or got on base, but we'll see where it goes. Single or double. 2 or 3 run blast, and then another home run or a double. And then, if we get all the way to Josh Naylor, then you're in business. '25 MLB Little League Classic between the Mariners and the Mets, sponsored by New York Life and ESPN. First pitch from Rogers to Cole Young. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Rogers to Young. Come on, Cole. I don't like seeing anybody go 0 for 4 or 0 for 5. I want at least a hit so that way they feel a little productive. 0-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. I mean, we would have been better off if we were playing them at home rather than on the road. So, and Rogers with this sidearm bullshit, it's going to be hard to get anything on him. 0-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. I mean, how many guys do you actually see throw sidearm nowadays? It's pretty rare. In the 80s and 90s, it was really common, but now it's like you don't see really that many starters, let alone you're going to get more guys in the pen that throw that sidearm, obviously because of accuracy issues. But 0-2 pitch, and Young fouls out to third, and that is 1 away. Cody, you and me both. All right, next up is left fielder Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Getting hit in the head on the first pitch of the game kind of set the tone in a negative light, but hopefully we can get something out of Randy here before the game is up. Another guy that's overdue for a home run. First pitch high and away, 1-0 count. And again, anyone that pitches sidearm, it's fucking almost impossible, to be able to get something positive, but unless you can get it right down the middle. But most guys that have sidearm technique, it's kind of wild. It's not going to be right down the middle or in the box. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Randy Arozarena. 2-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. That was a perfect pitch to swing at that by Randy there, but just didn't get it on the sweet spot. 2 balls and 1 strike here in the top of the ninth with bases loaded. I wish. Nobody on and 1 out. We're down by 4, and I'm just hoping that we can get to 5 before this game is over. But that means that we need a hit by somebody. Randy, and then we got Cal Raleigh obviously up next. And, I'm hoping that Cal will homer here late so that way that we can actually get him to home run number 48. And there's going to be a very good chance that Cal homers against the Phillies. Maybe even breaks the record against them. 2-1 pitch popped up, and that is 2 away. So no 2-run blast, but again, last batter in the game. I'll take a cheap home run any day of the week. And if we can get home run number 48 to tie Salvador Perez, even if we lose this game, that would be amazing. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. It's like someone trying to get like a garbage, triple-double at the end of the game. It might be garbage time and you might be down by 30 points and you're going to lose, but you can still do individual, achievements. And Cal's already homered once. It's going to be tough to homer against a sidearm pitcher like Rogers, but I wouldn't put it past him. Oh, 0-1 pitch in play, and there's a single by Cal. We can't get the home run, but at least he got a hit. And now we got to pray for Julio with a 2-run blast to get us to 5. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up. Nice job by Cal getting a single there. Would have loved a home run, but still, great job by Cal. Add to your stat line. And next up is Julio Rodriguez, 1 for 4 with a run and a K. But the chance of Julio homering here is probably less than 10%, but getting a single or a double, maybe a little bit higher, maybe 20 to 30%. So there's a chance here. Top of the 9th with a runner at first and 2 outs, 7-3 Mets. They're on the brink of winning this series at the Little League Classic. We're approaching 0 for 6 in rain delays this year, 3 in the last week, which is utter bullshit. And hopefully we don't have any more fucking rain delays all year. Brutal. Rogers on the mound, Julio in the box. Top of the 9th. 7-3 New York lead. Oh, 1 pitch, and here we go. Julio with a base knock, single to right. Now we got runners at first and third with 2 outs. Oh my. And here we go. And if we had the nailer before he got sick, he could hit a homer and make it 7-6, but Naylor's been sick the last couple days, so it's going to take a lot for him to do something here. Now, could he get an RBI single? Yeah. Home run, that's going to be another story. But, anything to get us above 3, to give us momentum going into tomorrow against the Phillies and Schwarber would be huge, as well as Bryce Harper. Top of the 9th, 7-3. Glad to see Cal and Julio still trying. And now it's up to Josh Naylor to get a single, double, triple, or a 3-run blast to get us to 7-6, which would be crazy. First pitch to Naylor, and grounds out to second, and that ends the game. I wish Naylor would have worked the count, but again, when you're sick, I guess that's how it goes. Final score, New York Mets 7, Seattle Mariners 3. But on the bright side, at least we got to see Cal Raleigh, get to home run number 47 here today. And obviously we have a series now with the Philadelphia Phillies on the road, which will not be easy. But shout out to all the new subs. Shout out to all of the individuals that donated to the stream today. Megan, Bash, Six Face, I appreciate you. Shout out to All Day helping out with the league mod duties. And again, now we dropped to 0-6 with rain delays, 3 losses on rain delays in the last week. And we have to pray that we don't see fucking rain the rest of the year, which will be a big what if. But again, love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And hopefully we'll play a little bit better against the Phillies on the road. If we win game 1, we should be able to win 2 out of 3. If we drop game 1, we'll probably only win 1, like we have against the Orioles and the Mets. We need to be better, but winning on the road is hard. And then after the Phillies series is over, Thursday we have day off. We come home and we play the Athletics, which isn't going to be easy, but at least we'll have the home crowd. And hopefully we don't play down to the competition. Like, sub, donate, comment, share on your way out. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Trident's up, and I'm out. Go M's.